ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the Southeastern Conference.
ESPN's College Football Prime Time, presented by Subway. Oh, it's a special night here in Gainesville. They're honoring their native son, the rock and roll legend. The inaugural Tom Petty Day at the Swamp. You got the vintage-style T-shirts everywhere. And Billy Napier's Gators won't back down in the midst of this tough schedule. Feels like they're gaining some momentum. The other first-year head coach, Brian Kelly, is looking for his LSU team to bounce back. They had won 4 straight, a talented defense, but now it's time to be tested in the Swamp. The Gators feel like they've had a strong week of prep, but it's time to put it all together under the lights. And there ain't no easy way out of this kind of a rivalry. From Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, pivotal game to define each team's season. Both 4-2, both confident with coaching staffs in the first year. It is LSU and Florida. Glad you're with us. Joe Tessitore and Greg McElroy with you. Last time LSU was here was the famous shoe throwing game. I don't know that we're going to have that wackiness tonight, but a lot of crazy things happen when these two get together. A lot has changed since that game, like basically everything has changed for these two programs, and this is a pivotal game this season.
Massive. Both teams right now a bit of crossroads here at the midway point of the season. First-year head coaches and the outcome and the outsiders' perception of these programs and whether or not the first year for each head coach is a success or a failure, it could very much rest on the outcome of this game. A win vaults you to 5-2, and you're staring 8 wins, 9 wins right in the face, and a loss drops you to 4-3, and then you're staring at a potential 6-6, knowing that there are some major tests remaining on the schedule for each one of these two teams.
Hey, Katie George, LSU can't think about last week. They got off to another slow start, went downhill against Tennessee. Where's this team at now?
Well, they feel like they're in a good place, Tess, after Monday's players-only meeting. Jayden Daniels said a lot of people got up and spoke. Of those people, no one's words resonated more than that of Notre Dame transfer and punter Jay Bramblett. Bramblett followed Kelly to LSU and acted as a liaison of sorts in the locker room during the transition, so his words carry weight. He said you have to want to play on special teams. You have to want to be good in that phase of the game. It can be the difference. He said we have all the talent in the world to excel, but it has to be a desire, not an afterthought. Players walked out of that meeting with a newfound commitment, not just to special teams, but consistency as well, Tess.
LSU won the toss, and they elect to defer. Last week, the miscues early on included the opening kickoff, a turnover, and they got off to a slow start. Now it is Florida who will be with the ball. And this is Etienne. Trevor Etienne, the freshman who's a Louisiana native, with a tremendous return for the Gators to open up the game. Let's look at tonight's Chick-fil-A impact players, Greg.
Well, it didn't take long for one of them to make an impact already. As you can see, Brian Kelly furious. The up and down play of the special teams has been a problem. Trevor Etienne, excellent freshman running back. And Montrell Johnson, the transfer from Louisiana, great feel for the system. Going up against Micah Baskerville, great athletic linebacker there for LSU. And then the edge presence of VJ Ojulari, almost single-handedly responsible for the win and turning the tide against Auburn a few weeks ago. They got to be very careful with him on the edge.
Richardson is going to give to Johnson on the carry. He goes ahead for a yard, tackled by Micah Baskerville. A lot of people this week, you hear, Greg, which version of Anthony Richardson are we getting? It was so sensational week 1 against Utah and then against Tennessee. But some other games, we were here for Kentucky, that didn't go his way at all.
And it's not physical. It's very mental. He did not handle the adversity of the Kentucky game very well. He was honest about that. He's trying to grow in that regard. But he has an unbelievable skill set that can break the game open on any offensive snap.
Richardson on 2nd and 9. His first pass attempt of the game, downfield, going for it all to the end zone. And into the hands of Justin Shorter for a Gators touchdown. You can't start faster than that. ETN with the big kick return. Anthony Richardson with the big windup, and Shorter on the end of it. A 51-yard strike, Richardson to Shorter. And just like that, 2 plays into the game, the Gators are chomping on a night that they honor their local legend. Richardson comes out and says, "No, we will not back down." Rock and roll start here in the Swamp.
You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. No, I'll stand my...
I'm your football-obsessed best man.
It all started when we showed up in Austin waving a Wazoo flag. Then it kind of became an obsession. After 15 years, game day finally came to Washington State. Now we keep doing it because game day isn't just a day, it's a lifestyle.
Well, this season, the average touchdown drive has been 3 minutes for the Gators. They just scored in 51 seconds, Greg.
Pretty unbelievable start there. Capitalizing on the momentum and the atmosphere. Great kickoff return and a beautiful throw.
47-yard kickoff return by ETN to get the game going. Home Team Spotlight is presented by Verbo Vacation Homes.
Let's take a look at it. This is Fouché. He's going to be spying to the backhand side. You're going to see him come up and grab underneath, which allows the big post over the top. And it's a very easy throw down the field. Perfect protection. Great route there by Shorter. Excellent drop, tracking it as well. And just a picture-perfect start for the Gator quarterback and the Gator offense.
Jayden Daniels and the LSU offense now gets their turn back out there. Open the game trailing by a touchdown. Daniels pressured and is able to scramble away and then turn the corner. He has fleet feet, and somehow he got past Brenton Cox.
Jayden Daniels at times has been everything in LSU's offense. Passing game started to get going a little bit a week ago, but the best part of his game so far this year is taking advantage of aggressive pass rushers and creating in scramble drill situations. If he could do that again tonight against an aggressive defense, LSU will be able to move the ball.
Williams tackled for a loss. Ventrell Miller.
Ventrell Miller, so important in this game. You're going to see him just fly inside of Anthony Bradford, who's playing there at right guard. Bradford's been moving all over the place on this offensive line. Back to right guard, and Ventrell Miller has a big job tonight, spying Jayden Daniels and making sure he communicates all the different looks to the other defenders.
3rd and 8. Well, they've seen a very active front 7 for Florida against Daniels. Four-man rush this time. They pick up the stunt. Daniels with plenty of time, but good coverage downfield. And then he lets loose to a wide-open Booty, who gets free and is down to the 31-yard line. As he was able to beat Rashad Torrance. He comes up with the tackle, but it's 41 yards for Kayshon Booty.
And that is a sight for sore eyes for LSU fans. Booty been very inconsistent this year, but getting involved on the opening drive is paramount. Now he'll likely be engaged the rest of the way. That's huge to have their playmakers started already in this game.
Just what they needed. Facing their first 3rd down, as Booty has had some struggles, a preseason first-team All-American, but he just hasn't performed to that level to this point. And again, a struggle for Williams just to get back to the line of scrimmage as Javon Dexter Sr. and Justice Boomer in there.
And this was a good job, Kayshon Booty, recognizing some of the open space, staying on the move, keeping his eyes back, and a good job, too, by Jayden Daniels keeping his eyes downfield. I think some of the frustration amongst the receivers has been sometimes when Jayden Daniels takes off, he doesn't keep his eyes downfield. There he did, and led to a big play.
Receiver screen. This is Neighbors, and Neighbors only able to get to the 28-yard line. Third down approaches. Tackled by Jayden Hill, who returns from an ACL and LCL a couple weeks ago. Had a huge game last week against Missouri.
Possible 4-down territory here for LSU. As we talked about, their special teams has been a bit of a roller coaster this year. And Brian Kelly has really been aggressive on 4th down situations, so too likely to get it here, especially with the positive gain here on 3rd and 6.
Third down, short pitch, Williams. Can he get the corner? Cuts back inside and is going to be right at that line to gain. And as Torrance made the tackle. And that will be a first down for LSU.
We hear NASCAR right there on the grab cam. NASCAR means fast. Tempo coming from LSU.
Quick to get to the line. As you look at the play clock, they were up there with 30 and snapping at 22. Daniels. Brought down by Cox. Brenton Cox, who they describe as being so heavy-handed. But look at the strength in that big paw as he brought down Daniels. Ripped him down to the turf here at the Swamp.
Boy, was he ever. I mean, gets that right arm extended working against the freshman Emory Jones. Gets Emory Jones on his heels, and then he finishes. That's going to be so huge for Florida tonight. They can get that pass rush going because of how good Jayden Daniels is escaping vertical in the pocket. When you get to him, you have to finish, and if you don't, he can make a big play out of it.
2nd and 18 after the sack. Quarterback draw. Daniels wrapped up and taken down by Amari Burney. Third and 15. 9th play of this drive. Keishawn Butte put them in position. Can they deliver now? Daniels into traffic and gets it complete to Keishawn again, right at the stick.
What a collision there as Keishawn runs into what appears to be a defender there, Amari Burney, number 2. Really tight window throw there. You see the collision and good concentration from Keishawn.
And Burney is down, and the medical team is out to see him, so we will take a short break. It's 4th and 1 when we return.
It's the Subway Series menu. 12 irresistible subs. The most epic sandwich.
Their blood, sweat, and tears on that yard. Well, Jamie did anyway.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Subway. Try the all-new Subway Series menu, your pick of 12 irresistible subs. And in part by DirecTV. Get your TV together.
It is inaugural Tom Petty Day here in Gainesville. Gainesville native before he went on to fame in LA with the Heartbreakers. I Won't Back Down. And of course, played before the 4th quarter, and we will bring that to you live tonight. This is the spot of that last reception with Butte that makes for a 4th and short. John Emery is the running back with Daniels under center. Emery going to get the work, and he's going to get the first down for the Tigers.
Nice surge there from LSU's offensive line, the right side, really collapsing that Florida Gator front. It's not easy to do, knowing you have Desmond Watson, big 415-pounder up there, number 21. Short yardage has been a little bit up and down for LSU this year. Right there, successfully moving the ball.
1st and goal with the ball just inside the 10-yard line. Emery again as they try to move that pile down to the 7. We mentioned the fact Garrett Dellinger is out. Starting left guard Miles Frazier gets the nod there. A week ago, they lost their left tackle prior to the game. Will Campbell was hospitalized. True freshman is now back.
That really had an impact on them, too. I mean, they were a mess, for lack of a better word, on the left side of the offensive line last week. I mean, twists and stunts just had guys' heads spinning, and it was a difficult day that led to 5 sacks of Jayden Daniels. So A little bit healthier up front this week, but still a challenge against a good front.
6 different offensive lines now in 7 games. 2nd and goal. Emery out of the backfield and into the end zone. Seven-yard touchdown catch for John Emery, who's back from his year-long suspension.
And Emery's just going to work out into the flat, and you're going to see they're trying to cover him. Here's with Ventrell Miller. He kind of gets picked right there on the inside on the release vertical from Cole Taylor. It allows Emery to jump leverage into the flat. That's a nice, easy throw there for Jayden Daniels, and that's an excellent response from the LSU Tigers after a difficult start on the road.
John Emery went 643 days away from football with an academic suspension. He had played December of 2020 against these Florida Gators. Now he's back, and this had to feel good. 12 plays, they converted the 4th down. A 6-minute drive that had Emery with a touchdown catch, and we got 7s across here at the Swamp.
GMC dealers, available for immediate delivery with 0% financing.
Glad you're with us watching the SEC on ESPN. LSU's been getting off to slow starts lately. Brian Kelly told us the other day, he said it's execution, not being lethargic or disinterested. Well, they executed well on their first offensive drive. Daniels was 4 for 4 for 64 yards. Remember, ETN had the big return to start things. Won't get a chance here. Matt Berry, what's up?
Oh, Tess, do I have an all-state mayhem moment for you. TCU down 14 heading into the 4th quarter. Kendry Miller walks it off in double overtime. TCU wins 43-30. Also, Alabama, Tennessee. Will Reichert setting up for what could be a game-winning field goal. He missed it. We're tied at 49. Tennessee with the ball, 9 seconds left, 1 timeout at midfield.
Thrilling day of college football. By the way, Jalen Hyatt with 200 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns for Tennessee. And we hope to carry that momentum right here at the Swamp. We're off to a good start. 7-7. Anthony Richardson had a touchdown strike to Justin Shorter to get the game going. Richardson with a man right in his face, able to survive it. And here come the wheels as he gets out near the 30-yard line. Jay Ward was able to get the angle on.
You know, Tess, I thought it was interesting. Billy Napier said the shine's worn off a bit for Anthony Richardson. He realizes if you play well, people say nice things. If you don't, they crush you for it. He said there was a switch that was flipped at Tennessee where Richardson kind of said, you know what, to heck with what everyone thinks. I'm just going to go let it fly and compete. And we saw that in that opening drive there.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, scared to make a mistake, scared to lose the momentum that was created off the first performance. Can't be scared. Just go out there and rip it.
ETN is ripped down from behind by Mekhi Wingo.
And I think a big part of your development as a player, whether it happens in the NFL, happens in high school, happens in college, learning how to handle bad situations and not allowing them to carry over into the next play and the following play and the next drive and the next quarter. That's something I think he struggled with against Kentucky, had a difficult end of half that carried over into the second half. But he played beautifully against Tennessee, played well again last week, especially with his legs, and off to a really nice start here tonight.
This is the first 3rd down that Richardson's facing. He's able to pick it up as he gets to the 36-yard line. Justin Shorter lines up in the backfield for the moment. Remember, he had the big touchdown catch, and now they shift back to the more traditional formation with Trevor Etienne. Etienne straight ahead, hits the seam and goes for 9 well-earned yards before Greg Penn makes the tackle.
Good seam right here on the left-hand side, and I think it's going to be very important for Florida to really commit to their run game. LSU last week against Tennessee Tennessee really struggled stopping the run, not very sound against the run. And then you can see right here, Etienne finding a seam, and what an impressive freshman.
2nd and 1, Etienne in small town Louisiana, Jennings, Louisiana, now playing against the Tigers. Richardson, as he's able to lower the shoulder against the true freshman Harold Perkins and move the chains.
Good decision there by Richardson. Situation where looked pretty glim as far as the downfield passing attack is concerned, but you got 2nd and 1, take it yourself, go convert a first down.
You just hear a cheer here at the Swamp because moments ago they realized that Tennessee just defeated Alabama. Etienne working his way past midfield.
Expect LSU to get a heavy dose of this run game. As you can see, Florida Gator offensive line and Billy Napier, they are very committed to trying to feature these running backs. As you can see now, lingered in there as well. 4 different guys might carry the football tonight from the running back spot for the Florida Gators. Extremely deep at that position. You can make a case it's their best position as far as quality players from top to bottom.
Lorenzo Lingard getting a bump up the depth chart ahead of Naquan Wright. And he will get the carry off the left side, and he has a good run to the 44-yard line, tackled by Jarek Bernard-Converse.
Four down territory here, more than likely for the Gators. They've been very, very aggressive, just like LSU. And of course, so many teams now going with an analytical approach to when they go for it. And Billy Napier, with how his offensive line's played and how this running game has come together here at the midway point, you would imagine they got 2 downs to get it here on 3rd and short.
Napier's star running back last year in the Sun Belt Conference is now taking the direct snap. That's Montrell Johnson on 3rd and 1, and Johnson will have the first down. He was the Sun Belt Conference Freshman of the Year at Louisiana before transferring and coming over with the coaching staff. There's a view of the AT&T 5G Skycam Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, the Swamp, on Tom Petty Day. First time that they are officially honoring their local legend.
If you're LSU right here, be careful of getting too aggressive in the secondary. This is where Florida like to throw it downfield off play action.
He's taking it straight ahead to the 39-yard line. That was Johnson again with the carry.
You can see Brian Kelly trying to really change the culture at LSU. Said buy-in early in the season has been great. They're obviously at a crossroads, but a completely different approach to how they're building this thing than his predecessor. They've had some bumps in the road, but this team still at 4-2 with plenty to play for and plenty of things in front of them.
Short pitch on 2nd and 7, and here goes Johnson. Oh, and those Gators are chopping early. A 39-yard touchdown for Montrell Johnson. As we mentioned, the Louisiana native that played at the smaller school, now here with the big boys and showing them what he's all about. This offensive line for Florida, they have been playing good ball and paving the way moments ago for the big touchdown run. Capping a 75-yard drive, Greg.
And beautifully done up front. Poorly played, though, defensively. You're going to see guys kick out. But watch how the defense, you're going to see a guy swing here, and then guys fly out over the top, assuming that Johnson's going to get to the outside. There's nobody there. I mean, you can drive a truck through that hole. Johnson does. And he's not the guy in the backfield with crazy top-end speed, but man, he's decisive and does a great job of getting north and south off the pitch.
Katie.
You know, guys, when Johnson entered the portal, he was hopeful Napier would consider bringing him to Florida. But regardless of where he landed, he knew he was ready for a bigger stage. When Napier saw his name, he quickly sent him a text. It was a photo of a Florida jacket and said, "I've got one waiting for you." Johnson said, "No hesitation, I'm all in." And obviously, he has loved every minute here in Gainesville and wants to continue to show that he can be an impactful runner here in the SEC.
I loved how his career at Florida started. He fumbled on the opening drive against Utah. Napier went right back to him, said, "I believe in you." Jack Besh on the return for LSU as he wiggles his way out past the 25-yard line. Let's go to studio for a big update.
Yeah, Joe Tessitore last left you with Tennessee with the ball, so we have 1st and 10, clock winding down. Great job by Hendon Hooker to find Brew McCoy. Gets just down. Josh Heupel bangs a timeout. Chase McGrath, 42 yards, knuckleball, ball game. Good old Rocky Top. Rocky Top, Tennessee has beaten Alabama for the first time since 2006.
We think we have all the answers all off season long, and then all of a sudden we play the season and things change, and Tennessee has become one of the big stories of the year. Daniels, as he overthrows Josh Williams, he had a man in his face immediately getting pressure as Torrance was coming in.
So far, this pass rush for the Florida Gators doing a pretty good job of forcing the ball out of Jayden Daniels' hands rather quickly. These are really solid edge players. You referenced Brenton Cox earlier, but don't overlook Uman Mielen, number 33 on the bottom. He can flat out get it too against some true freshman tackles.
He had a big sack last week to close out the win against Mizzou with 2.5 minutes to play. Here's Daniels on 2nd down, as he's able to get it to Kayshon Boutte, who's more involved early on than we have seen in recent weeks.
And this was nice, too, as he gets up to his route. See how quickly he sinks his hips and then works his way back to the quarterback. It's a really nice route, and this is kind of the Kayshon Boutte that we all anticipated seeing coming into the year. There's been a disconnect with the expectation level and how he's performed, but so far tonight, he looks like the guy that was a preseason All-American.
Drops have been an issue. Not tonight. 3 catches for 62 yards. Daniels pulls it and then goes and just shuttles it ahead to Mason Taylor, the true freshman tight end, for an LSU 1st down. Very heady play by Jayden Daniels.
Yeah, it really was. We'd like to have maybe a little bit better pitch here. I mean, that's a pretty good catch there by the freshman tight end, having to flip his hips, make the play, and continue the forward momentum. A good heads-up play, and they're very excited about the future for Mason Taylor.
I feel like this first quarter, Greg, is played with urgency with both offenses. Short pitch, Williams, right side, squares the shoulders, and then is ridden down by Ventrell Miller. Shamar James also getting in on the tackle.
You're 100% right, Jess. I mean, these offenses so far, I mean, they've really done a good job situationally, keeping drives alive. Both quarterbacks have been accurate for the most part, made a couple plays with their legs. So run game still trying to get going a little bit for LSU. Florida's already got theirs established, but so far, great starts, you're right, by 2 offenses that have certainly had their fair share of ups and downs this year.
We open a night telling you it was all about Tom Petty. 2 teams that must not back down in the midst of the tough SEC schedule, and they haven't. Richardson went to shorter right away. Daniels responded with a drive his own, finding Emory. And then moments ago, the big train of Montrell Johnson chugging ahead. We got a good one in the swamp. Take it, Tom.
No, I'll stand my ground. Won't be turned around.
Before we begin, I'd like to thank our
Joe, Greg, and Katie back with you. Brian Kelly, who took over this LSU roster that was torn down, culture that had bottomed out. And now here in the midst of the SEC, going toe-to-toe with these kind of games. And that is complete to Booty again. And Greg, as we mentioned, listen, the struggles were there. He led the SEC, was top 5 in the country in drops. Tonight, he looks like the All-America he's supposed to be.
Yeah, as you can see, this is coming into tonight, and he's been a totally different guy tonight. I think getting him involved on that first drive, it's like something's lit a fire underneath him.
21-yard reception from Daniels. Emery now, who had the touchdown reception earlier, is corralled by Miller. Katie.
Well, guys, there wasn't a whole lot of good to take away from the Tennessee loss, but Jayden Daniels said seeing Kayshon Boutte get his first TD was almost a breakthrough for the two. He hoped that it kick-started their relationship and connection. He said he wanted to go to him early and often tonight, which we've seen.
Have indeed. 4 targets, 4 catches, 83 yards. 2nd and 8. Out of the backfield, Emery again, and he kept his balance, got the hand down just past Ventrell Miller to get a first down at the 20-yard line.
Very similar play that they scored the touchdown on earlier. And if they're going to try to play man-to-man, the Florida Gators, they're going to slip Emery out into the flat all day long. That puts an awful lot of stress on Ventrell Miller. He's their best defender. And if he's having to fly sideline to sideline, that could open up things vertically for the quarterback run game too. So that's a very important play to get going for LSU, and they've had success with it early.
11 yards on the reception. And a timeout is used by LSU. We'll take a break. Brian Kelly, Jayden Daniels talking things over and looking up at that clock.
I'm the captain of the Pee Wee football team. We may be small, but we are
guarantee plus top dollar for your trade.
North Shore Toyota, convenient from anywhere. I-12 and 190 in Covington.
Bow, bow, bow. Yes, boom. You don't want none of that right there. Hey, it's a Bernie kind of day now. Yes, sir. It's a Bernie kind of day. Let's go. I'm proud of this group in terms of the work ethic. They show up and work. Detail, detail, detail. Here we go. Start to finish. Quality rep. Here we go.
The first-year head coach, Billy Napier. Boy, is he jacked up before the game, ready to go. You got to love it. Came out of Gaten's debut, beat that ranked Utah team. And Daniels is taken down just near the line of scrimmage and rolls past Justice Boone to get some yardage.
It's so funny to see Billy Napier like that. I mean, we see him and we've gotten to know him over the years. I've known him forever, it feels like, but he's so laid back.
Oh, he's so chill.
But he's got he's like a duck to me. Like on top of the water, very chill, relaxed, but underneath, those legs are going a mile a minute. You know what I mean? He's just, I'm very impressed with the culture that he's going to build here at Florida. And you're already seeing some of the fruits of his labor.
2nd and 8. LSU on the move again. Daniels, his scrambling ability always gets him out of trouble, seemingly off the mark that time, trying to get it to John Emery. It'll be 3rd down and 8. McClellan had pressure on Jayden Daniels.
Close there. Daniels' ball was a little bit forward, but it was a little dangerously close to being a lateral. Here on 3rd down, Kayshon's had the hot hand. If he can find a quality matchup with the preseason All-American number 7 in the slot to the bottom, that's where I'm looking.
Third down and 8. They bring delayed pressure on the inside cut. Jenkins is going to make it 1st and goal. LSU. Jaray Jenkins with the catch.
Really nice design here as they get just a little bit of a rub. Watch Kayshon to the right. He runs out to the flat, but he stays on top of where Jenkins is coming underneath, which causes the defender to stall for just a half second. It's created the separation. That was a good job by Kayshon and a nice design from the offensive coordinator, Mike Denbrock.
They're 4 of 5 on 3rd down. There is no slow start tonight. Emery straight ahead. And it'll be 2nd and goal from the 1. It was McClellan with the tackle. Very active, true freshman defensive tackle. Second goal, quick to the line. Emery pulls Daniels and just trots in. So Daniels takes it himself and scores. And that was a well-managed drive by Jayden Daniels at LSU.
Just back and forth. Anything you can do, I can do better. A great read here as the defender collapses on the mesh. They almost did a really good job of recovering, Florida did. Just could not drop the athletic Daniels in the open field. And he finds pay dirt for LSU's answer.
So many similarities between these two programs, right? The big-name first-year head coaches, the big blue blood power programs trying to get back to what they were, the quarterbacks who have so much athleticism but so many questions, and now you're getting answers. Similarities in what we're seeing on the scoreboard as well. Back and forth they go. LSU, Florida, 14-14. What a great night in the swamp we've got.
Hi, I'm Capri, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is the chicken. You can tell they actually put it on the grill, cooked it in the sauce, marinated it. You're definitely getting a good grilled spicy sandwich.
There's one thing everyone wants. We all want the incredible new iPhone 14 Pro now at T-Mobile. And T-Mobile gives you Apple TV Plus included. Get iPhone 14 Pro on us.
Twisted Tea fans love football, so we're surprising them with a Twisted Tea drop. We're kicking off game day with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Cold, refreshing, and goes down smooth with 5% alcohol. Twisted Tea tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Dreams come true right here.
That was very, very impressive.
This is insane.
Anybody need some good news?
Get the popcorn now.
Over the middle and...
Hey, that rookie corner? We were boys in college.
For real?
Well, I'd see him on campus a ton.
Oh, yeah?
I'd say, hey. He'd say, what? What's up? Because he usually was listening to music, because he loves music. You guys probably don't know that about him. Yeah, we're friends.
That's half the fun of a new house, seeing what people left behind in the attic.
Well, saving on homeowners insurance with Geico's help was pretty fun, too.
Oh, it's a tiny dancer.
They left a ton of stuff up here.
Well, enjoy your house.
Nope. No, thank you.
Geico could help you save on homeowners and renters insurance.
I've always loved building things. Not just structures and skyscrapers, but teams who make it all possible. After all, we wouldn't be where we are today without them. So we made sure that, like these buildings, their futures may also stand the test of time.
Fourth down. Etling is under center at the 1-yard line. Etling takes the snap, tosses to Geis. Geis trying to lead over the top.
Nick Hubert, voice of the Gators back in 2016 for that thriller, and tonight he was Mr. Two Bits. One of the great traditions here at the Swamp. Each team has had 2 possessions. Each team has scored 2 touchdowns, and that gives us a chance to visit with Matt.
All right, Joe, I just want to give you an update on what's going on in this night window. If it's anything like the 3:30 window, it's fun. I assure you there's more action than that on Clemson, Florida State on ABC, and then SEC Network, Mississippi State, Kentucky.
An outrageous day in the sport so far. Chase McGrath hit the 40-yard field goal that will live in Tennessee history, upsetting number 3 Alabama 52-49. And consider how quickly the turnaround with head coach Josh Heupel has happened for Tennessee. And you have fans here of LSU and Florida with Brian Kelly and Billy Napier, who's saying that can be us. Right. It can happen fast.
Well, that Josh Heupel also ruins it for everybody. You know, it's like if we're not 7-0, top 5 in the country, then we haven't made any progress.
How was that Tennessee offense something?
It certainly is.
Anthony Richardson. Richardson is tracked down from behind as he is brought down by Jones.
So far, Anthony Richardson thrown just one pass. Not one pass, however, a 51-yard strike on the second offensive snap of the game. So far, LSU's secondary has done a pretty good job in coverage. There hasn't been a ton of separation. There hasn't been a lot of open Gator wide receivers, and Richardson smartly has just run with the football where nothing's there.
Crowding the line of scrimmage in the A-gap as Etienne doesn't have anywhere to go because of it. Everything was fit up perfectly, including Jones coming down the line, as well as Garner from that corner position, able to seal it up. You see Matt House, defensive coordinator for LSU.
He's done a really good job. Obviously, last week notwithstanding, everyone's going to point to that, but goodness gracious, I mean, his first 2 drives, his defense is on the field at their own 25-yard line. So Matt House done a pretty good job this year, especially as they've dealt with some attrition, having lost Major Burns and Mason Smith.
Third and 7. 4-man rush. They pick up the stunt. Richardson with time, but without an option, and then checks down to Etienne. On 3rd and 7, good pursuit to the ball with Michael Baskerville corralling him. Jay Ward also came up defensively for Matt House in that LSU defense.
Another job there by LSU. I mean, just excellent coverage in the back end. Tried to run a play that they've run so many times this year on 3rd down, trying to hit Ricky Pearsall about 15 yards downfield, crossing with speed, and it was perfectly covered by the LSU secondary. They've done a really nice job of mixing coverages, and these Florida Gator receivers outside of the post of shorter haven't been able to create much separation.
This is our first punt of the game, Greg. Crawshaw on to punt away. Besh set to receive at the 20-yard line, and he muffs it. He muffs it, and Florida recovers, and it continues the special team miscues for LSU. It is unbelievable what's been going on this year. Time and again, special team miscues, and Besh, again, he struggled last week on kick return on the opening kickoff. And Rocco Underwood, the snapper, recovers it right off the face mask. You just can't do it.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, it is unbelievable. I mean, it's almost as if the drops are contagious. Look at Brian Polian.
Polian's telling him, get in position. This is before the punt. Special teams coordinator Brian Polian is saying, come on up, come on up. And they take over on the LSU 13-yard line.
As you can see, Brian Kelly going and talking to Besh, so sure-handed, and second time in as many weeks he's put one on the deck.
And now Johnson looking to pass. And it goes incomplete. But it is unbelievable. I mean, Besh is a sure-handed receiver. But last week, a miscue on the opening kickoff. Tonight, the muff punt. And it just keeps happening. It started week 1 against Florida State. Last week against Tennessee. They're 117th in special teams efficiency.
And there's nothing that the coaching staff can do right there. I mean, they've tried 4 or 5 different guys in the back end to catch punts. Jack Besh is their most sure-handed wide receiver. He's back there to just secure it, not crazy speed, just secure it. And he can't even reel it in. It's just contagious with the drops and the mistakes on special teams.
Second down, Richardson. He shakes free. And he's inside the 5-yard line, near that line to gain. Finally tackled by Greg Brooks.
Such a difficult spot for this LSU defense, but if they could somehow find a way to deny the Florida Gators and hold them to 3, that would be enormous.
First and goal. As Johnson is wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage by Ali Gay. Can they get the stop after the muff punt? I mean, I've never seen anything like it. They had 2 muff punts week 1 moving the Florida State game. That was Neighbors, who's another great receiver. He's got great hands. Last week against Tennessee, 2 early miscues, give up 10 points early tonight. It happens again. You can see the frustration from Besh.
And it's mental, man. I mean, it's 100% mental. And I don't know how you fix it. I mean, it's like when you're in a hitting slump, you got to just hit your way out of it. But, man, you just feel for Besh.
And Neighbors is right next to him. Let's say, hey, I was there. I was there against Florida State. I know what you're feeling, my friend. Here's 2nd and goal. Richardson. He threw it to the inside and behind Dante Xander. So it's going to be 3rd and goal, an opportunity for the LSU defense.
Oh, man, this is one you just have to make. I mean, you got your tight end in the flat. Got Sanders wide open, and he just throws it off into the inside. It was almost as if Richardson just steered that one as opposed to just trying to throw it. If you try to be too accurate, try to be too perfect, it can cause it to go awry, and that ball goes right in behind his intended wide receiver, one that Richardson would love to have back.
3rd and goal. Johnson lowers the shoulders and makes his way in. So the special teams turnover becomes a touchdown for Florida.
Pretty well blocked there on the front side. But Johnson just refusing to go down. Difficult to see where the ball is exactly at that spot. Of course, every scoring play is reviewed. I'm sure they're going to take a look at it.
The previous play is under further review.
Where is the ball when Johnson's backside touches? And when does it touch? Those are all the things that they're going to look at here. See whether or not that ball crossed the plane prior to him being down.
Interesting to think about the career path of Montrell Johnson. As you take another look at the replay, young man who went to De La Salle in New Orleans, made a couple of state championship appearances back home in Louisiana. But it wasn't LSU calling. He went to Louisiana, played for Coach Napier, and then got the opportunity to transfer after being the Sun Belt Conference Freshman of the Year. Comes along with the familiar coaching staff to Gainesville, and he is finding success. 2 rushing touchdowns now on the evening.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything, by the way, in this review that would lead me to believe that it's going to be overturned. I think, if anything, the call will stand, because it's difficult for me to tell exactly when he goes down. It's also difficult to tell where that ball is when his backside touches. Let's take a peek here. As you can see, down there, obviously, but where's the ball? Difficult to tell.
Play officially under review, but the call on the field is a touchdown. So do they have the evidence to overturn that?
Of course, it has to be indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn. And based on the looks that we've gotten so far, there's nothing there that I see that would lead to the call being changed.
Matt Leffler is our SEC referee.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It's a touchdown.
And that is the 2nd of the night for Montrell Johnson. A 3-yard touchdown run. The ball was served on a silver platter at the 13-yard line after the muff punt and the recovery. As the effort downfield by the long snapper, Rocco Underwood, was right on top of it. Underwood recovers it. And then Johnson pushed it in. It has been a constant theme for LSU this year. I give special teams coordinator Brian Polian credit. He said, listen, we're about attacking problems, not people, but they have just had a problem securing the football. Besh let it go off his hands and the face mask. And Johnson put it through. And you know how badly that stings. 21-14, Florida at home here in the second quarter.
I'm a lot, I am not what they think. I like it dirty, I'll be 50 with the ricochet. She threw it at me, I hit it right down the...
I'm the team mascot, and boy, am I running late. But I got lead in my foot and spirit in my fingers.
UFC 280. Fight on ESPNPlus.com/PPV.
Fun night in the swamp already. 21-14. Florida on top. Jack Besh is right back out there. Greg Clayton flanking him. Off the punt moments ago. Florida cashed in with a touchdown off of it. Wild day in the games. Let's go to the studio.
Yeah, it has been an entertaining afternoon. Some highlights from the night game. Florida State up 7-0 on Clemson. DJU, great job avoiding the blitz. Finds Antonio Williams wide open. Clemson ties it 7 apiece on ABC. Also, Utah USC has kicked. Travis Dye makes it the 6th time in 7 games USC has scored on their opening drive. Trojans up 7-0 early.
So Florida State Clemson tied at 7. Jordan Travis had a touchdown run to open up scoring for Florida State. How long ago was that Florida State LSU game? Oh my gosh. Daniels had to work hard just to get back to the line of scrimmage as he was tackled by Kamari Wilson.
So far, we talked before the game. Just kind of thinking, hey, both offenses kind of work their way into it. You know, don't make any pivotal mistakes. You know, feel yourself out in the first half. Meanwhile, both offenses have been lighting up the scoreboard, and every time Florida's done something well offensively, LSU's had an answer.
Second down comes to the near side and misses on the comeback to Malik Neighbors. That was Avery Helm with coverage of Neighbors.
That was nice coverage there from Helm as he kind of squatted right there on Neighbors on the curl route. And he gets that right arm in there, breaks quickly, and knocks it away. Great coverage in the back end by the Gators.
3rd and 10. Swamp's getting loud. They've been successful on 3rd down tonight. Can they keep it up? Daniels. And he does as he goes to Cole Taylor. Past midfield. Yes, that Cole Taylor in 2020. It was his shoe that was thrown by Marco Wilson at the end of the wild upset of Florida.
Man, they are making life very difficult on Ventrell Miller tonight as far as coverage is concerned. Ventrell's excellent running sideline to sideline, but man, they're picking on him in the passing game.
Now here's Williams on the check down as he scoots ahead.
Just zone drop, and you can see as Miller kind of gets a little bit of depth, Taylor's able to slide right underneath it on the post and pick up a nice conversion. Excellent throw too by Jayden Daniels.
Taylor goes 6'7". 2nd and 2. Williams going to push that pile. And it'll be a 1st down at the 37-yard line. You know, you brought it up earlier. We were expecting a game where these offenses would try to get their footing a little bit. Instead, we got back and forth. And I use this word, and it's just so palpable. Urgency. There's urgency with these two teams right now and these two quarterbacks. Good run by Williams, breaking tackles, and another 1st down for the Tigers.
Let's go Tigers!
Very nicely done up front. As you can see, Jayden Daniels reading Umar Mielen right there at the end of the line of scrimmage. He stayed a little bit too wide, so he hands to Williams going vertical, and there's a nice seam. So far, both offensive lines settled in really nicely. Both these defensive fronts are very, very solid. These offensive lines haven't had many issues so far.
Fresh downs for Daniels and the Tigers. And he's going to pass on 1st down, and he's going to go to the end zone. And Neighbors has got it. Check that. Brian Thomas has got it. Great catch, Brian Thomas. Touchdown catch, Thomas.
It's a heck of a catch as Daniels kind of throws it a little bit underneath as you see Kimber, number 8, the corner, as he secured it all the way through. Oh, as you can see, he's still fighting for it there at the end. What an unbelievable catch there by Brian Thomas. Guy that's often overshadowed, but has stepped up on several occasions to make big plays on vertical routes this year.
Look at that smile on Jayden Daniels. Last week against Tennessee, he was sacked 5 times.
Ruling on the field.
They got into such a big hole.
The previous play is under further review.
Taking a look at this catch by Thomas. And now Daniels comes out 12 of 15, 181 yards, couple of touchdowns already.
Let's take a look. Does he secure the catch all the way through? He's got it right there. He's got it pressed, but that ball's starting to move a little bit. But he looks like he gets that right hand right in behind it. I'm not sure it ever touches the ground. Let's take a look at this. It's great effort there by Kimber, who just refuses to give up on it. He's trying to dislodge. I don't think there's anything there to suggest it's going to be overturned. If anything, I think it might be confirmed because I don't think that ball ever touches the ground.
Well, we always hear about the process of the catch, Matt Austin. Let's bring in our rules expert.
Yeah, Joe, this is an interesting play because is the receiver an upright receiver or not? What I mean, would he have gone to the ground without the contact by the defense? If they say no, he'd have stayed on his feet, then he doesn't have to survive the ground as long as he has the ball long enough, and in this case, I think he did. If they say no, he was going to go to the ground anyways, then he must maintain possession. I do think the ball slips out at the very end when it gets up next to his head and does touch the ground. So this is going to be an interesting one for replay.
Yeah, it really is. Here it is right here where it just barely touches the ground. But
yes.
And it can touch the ground, but it just has to maintain being secured. Am I right,
Yes, he
Matt?
has that firm control. Yes, if he still has firm control, it can touch the ground. In this case, it looks like he's chasing the ball a little bit around his upper body.
It certainly does. Of course, it has to be indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn. It does touch. Man, it feels like maybe it's the offensive guy in me, but I feel like that ball's pretty secure.
Well, he's got his right hand gripping against the shoulder pad.
The ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
And it is a touchdown. So the ground didn't help in the process of that catch. It was firm control through the process of the catch for Brian Thomas with the touchdown. And this has been a well-played offensive first half, Greg.
This is a shootout. I didn't expect this at all. Very impressive by both offenses, though, and the receivers for LSU. This is the group we talked about all offseason.
Now, Brian Kelly has been talking about Jayden Daniels with his patience, his progression of not just scrambling, of having confidence to drive that ball downfield. He's been doing that tonight. And moments ago, he does it to Brian Thomas to put us at 21-21 with still 5:55 to play in this fun first half.
With no fees or touch of a button, it's easy to use, easy to clean, and hard to beat. Rise and grind with Cuisinart.
Hey, here's what's coming your way on Sunday NFL Countdown. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, they're going to sit down, relive the wildest 13 seconds in NFL history. That's 10 a.m. Eastern. Monday Night Football is Broncos and Chargers from SoFi. That's 8 Eastern on ESPN. Of course, Monday Night Countdown starts at 6 p.m.
Tess, Greg, Brian Kelly said early on Jayden Daniels' feet were slow and his eyes were fast. He said we needed to flip that. We needed his feet to be fast and his eyes to slow down so he could be more patient through his progression. So that's been top of mind for Jayden Daniels running this offense. We've seen him reap the benefits of that change so far tonight, guys.
Man, he's been great as far as getting through his progressions. I mean, there have been very few instances in which he's just gone straight to the #1 wide receiver, including that last touchdown to Brian Thomas. That read requires you to start inside and then work out. He did so and dropped it in the bucket and allowed his receiver to make a play.
Richardson on first down, just beyond Ricky Pearsall. He had him in stride.
See, I mean, Jayden Daniels off to a tremendous start. A lot of people say, I mean, he's a great athlete. We know he can run, but can he win with his arm? And clearly proving tonight. I remember my first time watching him as we were preparing for the Florida State game earlier this year. I said, man, this guy's a lot more accurate than I realized, having kind of forgotten what he looked like in the past at Arizona State. So it's in there for sure, and it's certainly come out in a big way tonight.
Second down as Etienne will get just past the 29-yard line. The third and about 6 there. Baskerville with the tackle. Trevor Etienne, the younger brother of the former Clemson star and current Jacksonville Jaguar running back Travis Etienne.
Let's see what they end up doing here in this 3rd and 6. Guy that they've really trusted on 3rd down has been number 1, Ricky Pearsall. Let's see if they can work him on maybe a slant or something like that off this bunch set.
See the pointing to production to Etienne on 3rd and 6, but that rush gets to him. It was Baskerville. So the sack on 3rd down.
And this is just an overload in protection. They bring 6 guys, and this guy gets home right here over the top. This line is sliding to the left because Anthony Richardson just adjusted the protection. He thought there was going to be heavy pressure. They slide the line to the left. You have an unblocked defender to the right, and you have a new returner now back for the LSU Tigers.
That is Clayton. So Jack Besh, after muffing the punt, is replaced by Clayton. Second punt of the game, Crawshaw. This takes a great bounce, and he feels it off the bounce, and the coverage is right there. So a good putt from Jeremy Crawshaw. 4:19 to go. Tied up at 21. Reminder, Tuesday night it is ESPN Hockey Night with a doubleheader. 7 o'clock, Lightning Flyers. 9:30, Kings Predators. Well, I love that music, don't you? It's also available on ESPN Plus.
I'm pumped that hockey's back, man.
There to put on the skates thing?
I'm a big hockey guy. Grew up kind of in a hockey household.
Your dad worked for the LA Kings?
Dad worked for the LA Kings and then worked for the Dallas Stars. Big Dallas Stars fan, so I'm pumped that it's hockey season, that's for sure.
Emery goes up and over that time as he launched himself over Rashad Torrance for 10 yards.
I think there's going to be more availability here in the run game for LSU. So far, if you look at the numbers, I mean, just wearing Florida out through the air, 181 passing yards to just 52 rushing yards. Florida now is probably going to drop more guys back into coverage, which is going to open up more run lanes for the Tigers.
They've had 3 75-yard scoring drives. Daniels, a good strike to Malik Neighbors, and Neighbors is able to get it to the 43-yard line, tackled by Miller.
I think when you have to cover that deep comeback on the full boot action, it's almost uncoverable. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen the comeback covered. Unless Darrelle Revis is out there, you're going to be able to create some separation, and it's an easy pitch and catch, assuming you can get out clean on the naked bootleg.
Daniels' leg, you have a good chance of doing that. He can scoot. This time pressured as Brenton Cox was on top of him, and he throws it away.
See Billy Napier, Brian Kelly, a pivotal game at the midway point. Huge difference between 5-2 and 4-3. So this one of the highest importance, especially when it comes to the outsiders' expectation and the narrative surrounding these 2 first-year head coaches.
BK looked at that play call sheet, pointed to his eyes to Daniels, 2nd and 10. As he can't get past Ventrell Miller. Miller was right there. Cox was coming down the line. And it's only 2 yards, 3rd down and 8.
Brian Kelly getting after him a little bit right there on the numbers.
He walked all the way out to the numbers. They're 5 of 6 on 3rd down. Can they stay hot? Gets to the near side. 3rd down, looked like perhaps offside. Launches it downfield for the free play, and they get it! Jeray Jenkins! Jayden Daniels said, risk reward, we're going to make you pay. You saw the Florida defender jump, and Daniels said, why not? I'm going to crank it up and take a shot. Jayden Jenkins. He had 3 touchdowns last year against Florida. And here he has a 54-yarder. Ramos adds the extra point, 28-21.
Excellent recognition here by Jayden Daniels. At the top of his drop, I want you to look at where his eyes are. He knows he's got the free play, but look at his eyes. His eyes are way to the left early, and then he scans them all the way back to the right to find his guy clearing down the right-hand side. And this ball is in the air a long time. He drops it in the bucket beautifully. Just an outstanding job by the veteran quarterback, taking advantage of the free play, using his eyes to keep defenders away, freeing up the one-on-one, and then dropping it in the bucket. And also a terrific job by Jayden Jenkins, climbing and winning over the top.
It's Princely Ellen who jumped. And then it was Jayden Daniels who jumped all over it. And that golden band from Tigerland, they're beating the drum with 28 points here in the first half. On the road in a pressure game, rivalry setting under the lights in the swamp. Here is Etienne from the end zone. Let's go to the studio and Matt.
Joe Tess, I don't know how you top today in college football. Coming up in the Mercedes-Benz halftime report, history in Knoxville, Tennessee game came down to the last kick. Plus, TCU had to come back in double overtime. Those are the good ones. And then Michigan, maybe the most impressive of them all. Joey Galloway and I'll have the highlights coming up on the Mercedes-Benz halftime report.
Matt, I can't wait to hear what you and Joey have to say about it. Bryce Young went for 455 yards in that thriller. Hendon Hooker went for 385 with all 5 touchdown passes to Hyatt. Hyatt was nearly unstoppable against Bama. And then it was Chase McGrath in the end playing the role of hero. 2:17 before we get to all of that. Richardson extending the play and then gets the strike to Pearsall. That was a heck of a play by Anthony Richardson to keep things alive. Ward had the tackle, but it's a 20-yard completion to Ricky Pearsall.
And a beautiful throw, too, by Richardson. Really nicely done. He had missed 2 throws earlier when he's been on the move, but those have been to his right. Not getting that shoulder closed. That time he closes his shoulder and throws a strike with great velocity and an accurate throw.
Richardson going to try to tuck and run, and he's met at the line of scrimmage by Ojulari. But keep in mind, Richardson, over 230 pounds, he can bring it.
Oh my goodness, this was almost 88 and out the gate. I want you to watch Pearsall. He runs a little out and up, all right? And he gets over the top, but he gets held. Watch. Right here, they grab his jersey, and then that kind of allows the defender to catch back up. Like they missed one there as far as the pass interference is concerned. But, man, that was a nice route by Pearsall.
2nd and 8. Richardson going to check down to Johnson. And Johnson can't wiggle free because Jay Ward was waiting on him. Jay Ward, who made that outstanding play of the game in the road win at Auburn, the scoop and score, critical touchdown before halftime that sparked a comeback a few weeks ago.
Time starting to become a factor. 40 seconds now. The clock's winding. Florida's got timeouts. Well, obviously, with this being a critical down and distance, no need to rush it. Start burning your timeouts if you convert.
Right now it's a 3rd and 7 they have to conquer. Richardson On 3rd and 7, goes underneath to his tight end, Zipperer. And Zipperer's going to be marked just short. So remember, they do have the 3 timeouts. And the clock is counting down here as they're going to allow for that. And Napier says,
call a timeout with 4 seconds left.
Exactly.
Towards the end zone.
And just launch one. Well, this has been something, Greg. When we come here, we sit here, and we say, all right, there's some question marks about these two teams, right?
Right.
You know, what is their identity? Richardson last week, he didn't light it up. He had the game against Tennessee, and last week more of a rushing game, a defensive effort. Meanwhile, LSU was coming out the blowout loss against Tennessee. We had all these question marks about the two quarterbacks, about the two teams. And you look up, we got 28-21. Right. How?
Well, I think one thing, obviously LSU, terrific with their passing attack.
Yeah.
I mean, really impressive start from Jayden Daniels and all the wide receivers. I mean, everybody's been involved for the most part. I don't know exactly how many guys caught passes, but it's a bunch. And then conversely, I think Florida early in the game doing a great job taking advantage of a rush defense that kind of struggled the last couple weeks. LSU's tightened up a little bit, but still, they're going to have to fix some of the things as far as their run fits are concerned in the second half, because you know Florida is going to be committed to the run regardless of what the score may be.
So one last shot here as they left that one tick on the clock to launch it. We got big Justin Shorter downfield, but Richardson's going the wrong direction. He's got to create space to launch it off his back foot. That's not going to reach at all and go out because Ojulari made it difficult on him. That was a wild first half. And it was capped with Jayden Daniels going downfield to Dre Jenkins for a 54-yard touchdown. And that gave LSU the touchdown lead. 28-21 as we head to the studio to Matt and Joey in the halftime report.
Joe, thanks. Some questionable clock management there to Billy Napier as we bring you into the Mercedes-Benz halftime report. We're going to get started on that 7:30 window. Clemson and Florida State. Clemson a narrow favorite on the road in Tallahassee, down 7-0. Seminoles scored first here. Antonio Williams from DJ Uyunglele.
Yeah, Florida State sends the blitz off the corner. DJU steps up nicely, delivers downfield.
DJ Lundy then trips his way into the end zone. Clemson moving the ball. They're threatening, but still down 14-7 there. 8:41 of the second over on ABC. What about Auburn and Ole Miss? This one happening earlier in the day. There was a lightning delay late. It wasn't going to stop Ole Miss from winning this one. Quinshon Judkins, 41-yard TD.
Ole Miss ran the ball for 448 yards in this game and still put up 48 points.
It was a dominated performance out of them. They're undefeated for the first time since 2014, 7-0 rather. That later vacated. All right, buckle up. Alabama, Tennessee. You know the stat by now. Tennessee hadn't beaten Alabama since 2006. Inexcusable error there by Quandarius Robinson.
Yeah, just get away from the ball. That is very strange. He decided, hey, there's a football. I might as well pick it up.
Nick Saban furious. It led to a touchdown. 28-10 Volunteers. They were up 28-10. Here comes Jahmyr Gibbs in Alabama.
Jahmyr Gibbs might be the most exciting running back in the country.
Ties it with a two-point conversion at 28, early fourth quarter. What a day. Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt had 78 yards for the score.
There was nothing on the back end for Alabama. There was no rush on Hendon Hooker, so the defensive backs had to cover for a long time, and they did not do a very good job.
More on Hyatt in a minute. Fourth touchdown of the day for him. Here comes Young to Cameron Latu, ties it at 42.
Yeah, Bryce Young stayed a lot of plays, making plays down the field. He was a difference for this Alabama offense.
Here's where you thought it was going to swing. The bounce off the fumble right to Dallas Turner, 49-42. You're thinking, uh-oh, here we go. Here comes Alabama. But here comes the fifth time, Hooker to Hyatt, touchdown.
Man-to-man coverage on the back end, softer coverage, you have to get on the slant.
The potential game-winning field goal for Will Riker, no good. So Tennessee has life. 9 seconds left, one timeout remaining. Hooker, great job, keeps the play alive. Brew McCoy, middle of the field. Josh Heupel bangs a timeout. Here comes the kick that will be remembered in Tennessee lore. Chase McGrath, a knuckler to win it. 52-49 the final, and for the first time since 2006, they are smoking those cigars on the 3rd October and Saturday. What a game it was. Joey Galloway, Matt Berry alongside. Week 7 of the college football season had all the hype coming in, Joey. Rarely does a game or a week live up to the hype. That 3:30 window was as good as we've seen in a long time, and Tennessee finally got their win.
It's interesting. The over-under number for that game was 66. And you look there, you're like, 66, that's a lot of points. But the way the offenses played, Alabama and Tennessee, was very impressive. Tennessee, what jumped off the screen to me, number one, is the amount of time that Hendon Hooker had in the pocket. He stood back there and give the offensive line credit, because every time we see Bama play, it's pressure from the defensive ends. Hendon Hooker with time, and Jalen Hyatt down the field. We've seen this week after week, going down the field, making these kind of plays. We assumed Alabama's defense was better than they were, but when you see it, it's always one defensive back there, and they can't stay with them in this kind of coverage, and Tennessee took advantage. Now, it's interesting because this Tennessee team coming in, they were 9-point underdogs.
Yeah.
And after watching this entire season, you would never assume that at home, Tennessee would be a 9-point underdog. They came out and proved they deserve to be probably a top 3 team.
Hyatt, 5 receiving touchdowns. It's a single-game SEC record. That's a Tennessee record. It's the most by a receiver against the Nick Saban-coached Alabama team. Name the superlatives you want. They were all over today. 52 points, the most any team has scored against Alabama since 1907. Nick Saban's only allowed more points once in his coaching career, when Michigan State allowed 55 to number 1 Nebraska in 1996. What a game it was. And that was this game on any other day. TCU Oklahoma State, that could have been the lead card. We needed a comeback in double overtime in Fort Worth. What a Saturday it's been. More of that coming on the Mercedes-Benz Halftime Report.
They ain't hear what? They ain't hear who?
So come see us and win big. Or shop online at hoodchevy.com. Everything automotive under one hood.
This halftime report is presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Matt and Joey back with the USC and Utah. SC still perfect. However, a road dog in Salt Lake City. Here, Caleb Williams to Jordan Addison.
Williams started this game 6 of 9, making it pretty easy early against a Utah defense that's looking a little soft.
Utah just punched it in 14-7 there. TCU Oklahoma State, the other of the unbeaten teams. It was all Spencer Sanders and Oklahoma State early. They were up 24-7.
It looked like this game was going to be a blowout, and then TCU woke up.
You kind of got a feeling after this one by Kendre Miller, this game was going to get close. It got into a one-score game, 30-23. Next drive, same score, quick 3 and out. Max Duggan to Quentin Johnson. Watch him juke the defender for a big chunk of yards.
Quentin Johnson, 8 catches, 180, and a touchdown. He's been a man on the back end. He's tough to tackle.
TCU moving to change, and then Jared Wiley.
That's open.
Pylon. TCU ties it at 30. Double overtime. TCU down 40-37. Duggan keeps it himself. Bouncing, playing pinball off tacklers. Reaches for the goal line just short. Here's the game winner. TCU comes back 44-40. They're now 6-0 for the first time since 2017. You know who's also undefeated?
Syracuse.
Sean Tucker, what a game.
Yeah, Syracuse held NC State to 250 yards as Syracuse has Clemson next.
They're 3-0 to start an ACC for the first time since joining the league in 2013. This was the last, or was the first, of the unbeaten matchups, and Michigan ran all over Penn State.
Yeah, Michigan ran for 418 yards in this game. Both running backs, it was amazing. And the tackle on the back end by Penn State.
It was kind of a slow bleed
Not very good.
early, and then it was just this in the second half.
Yeah, Blake Corum gets out. I think he ran for 160 and 2 touchdowns in this game.
How good were the Michigan running backs? Third time in Michigan history. It had 2 players rush for 150 yards in a game. They're the first pair of teammates to each have 150 rushing yards in an AP Top 10 matchup since Eddie Lacy and T.J. Yeldon in 2012 when Bama played Georgia.
Seriously? Now there's a hole in your defense. Look at the size.
You're watching the Mercedes-Benz Halftime Report.
Matt and Joey back with you. Clemson ties it up, Joe. DJU to Jake Brenningstool.
DJU is 8 of 10 so far in this game, playing well.
This one 14 all over on ABC. Florida State moving the ball, however. It looks like this one's going to go right down to the end as we bring you now Road to the Championship, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Georgia, they had Vanderbilt. 55-0 over Vanderbilt. Second shutout win this season for the Dogs. Second straight shutout against Vanderbilt. They won 62-0 last year. First time an SEC team has shut out the same conference opponent in consecutive seasons since Alabama shut out Arkansas in 2012 and 2013. Speaking of road to a championship, some of the top-ranked teams in different FCS, South Dakota State, North Dakota State. How about that one? Sodak State wins at 23-21, and 1-2 in Division II is a 1-point game. Grand Valley State the win over Ferris State.
At Fidelity, your dedicated advisor will help you create a comprehensive wealth plan.
And here come your Fighting Tigers of LSU.
This halftime report is presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Updates you on USC and Utah out west. Watch the scramble here by Caleb Williams. Somehow keeps the play alive. It is all SC 21-7. And we have a good second half coming up for you in the Swamp. Jayden Daniels looks sharp for LSU, up 28-21. Second half after this.
Medals on my neck, on my neck, on my neck. Tell them I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the.
If you don't repaint every now and then, it's like the old you is still hanging around.
I'm listening to music.
Swamp for ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Subway. LSU's up 28-21. They trailed by 7, and then Jayden Daniels turned things around with a touchdown pass to Brian Thomas, and then a big one to Jerrade Jenkins. He has 3 touchdown passes as we start this second half. LSU will get the ball to start things off, and Katie caught up with Coach Kelly.
Coach Kelly, heck of an offensive performance there in the first half. What did you like about the urgency from that group?
Well, we made plays. I mean, it's guys that are talented, that are making plays, and this game's about, you know, the big-time players stepping up, and they've stepped up in the first half and made plays. Obviously, we made a mistake in special team.
What did you say to Jack in that moment afterwards?
You're our best player. We got to go. Now, I think he probably should fair catch that. That's a lot to ask. That's a 4-point plus hang time. But he's such a competitor. He wants to try to win, and in those situations probably better. But he's such a great kid, and he's our best player.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Josh Williams breaks free. Look at this run by Josh Williams. He broke a tackle and then hit the accelerator, and finally Johnson tracked him down. 51 yards to start the second half, Josh Williams.
It looked like Dexter was going to get him in the backfield. There he is, number 9, almost drops him, but he continues on. Makes a guy miss at Trey Dean. Continues on. Jaden Hill misses. Just an unbelievable effort there by Williams.
And now Emery breaks a tackle, but then finally is corralled by Johnson. What a start by Williams.
I mean, my goodness. As you can see, fired up there on the sideline for LSU. And the starts, them this year have been very, very disappointing. But right there, that's exactly how you want to start the second half, with a big-time run.
He's going to get more of the every down running back time. Armani Goodwin is out with a torn hamstring. Emery's been subbing in. And Williams has really stepped up in recent weeks. 2nd and 6. Daniels will turn the corner, and a good decision as he keeps his footing inside the 10-yard line, and you blink and it's 1st and goal.
Very impressive this time now with the run game. So much about the first half for LSU was their passing attack. 250 plus first half passing yards. But right now, as you can see, making a big point of emphasis at halftime, try to be a little bit more balanced. And they've done a great job here in these first few plays of the second half.
First and goal, Daniels looking to run it himself behind Emery. Can he get to the corner? He can. Jayden Daniels, touchdown run.
speed here by Jayden Daniels. Didn't look like anything was there vertically, but he gets to the outside. And I don't think y'all realize how difficult it is to get to the edge against an SEC defense. Jayden Daniels does so there. They told us before the season that when they put that catapult system on him, he ran higher than 21 miles an hour. The guy's got unbelievable top-end speed and showed it off right there as he found pay dirt on the opening drive.
Damian Ramos with the extra point. 21 unanswered points by LSU. They have 5 plays over 20 yards. Josh Williams had the big one, the run that set up Jayden Daniels and the chance to celebrate with Charles Turner, his hard-working center.
Nobody really Mama, I'm on the big screen. I took a big swing out of life. I'm doing.
Now we keep doing it because game day isn't just a day, it's a lifestyle.
Taco Bell Live My Student Section. Of course, student sections across the country are competing to be the Live My Student Section of the year all season long. They always have fun here at the Swamp. But a little more fun if their offense can get going. Listen, we've been with LSU a lot this year, Greg, but right now 5 possessions, 5 touchdowns. The only hiccup was the muff punt. Is this the best LSU we have seen, what we're seeing right now?
By a mile. I mean, and it's like you said, it's not without flaws.
No.
But offensively speaking, I mean, we're sitting here 32 minutes into the game, and they're approaching 400 yards of offense. And it's not just through the air either. I mean, it's on the ground. It's really been balanced, especially with how they ran the ball on the opening drive of the second half. Defensively, there are some things to clean up, but think about it. They gave up a 13-yard touchdown drive, and they gave up a big post touchdown on the second offensive snap. So other than that, they've played okay on that side of the ball. Very impressive stuff from the Bayou Bengals.
Johnson can't go anywhere. He is wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage by Jaquelin Roy. I mean, it's such a disruptive force in the middle.
I think it's going to be really important here for the Florida Gators to get their quarterback into a rhythm. Anthony Richardson started the game beautifully with that unbelievable post throw to start the game, but he really wasn't in a great rhythm at any point throwing the football. They got to get him some easy completions early.
He only has 5 completions on the night. Second down, he puts that right in the number of Justin Shorter. It was Justin Shorter who got the night started with a 51-yard touchdown catch.
And this is a really nice throw and a good job being patient. It took a little while to develop. Shorter, pretty decent coverage to run that corner curl. But he allowed it to uncover, and he put it right between the numbers. That was a very nice throw and a good job of getting your quarterback started here in the second half.
Johnson trying to find something in the middle there, 42-yard line. Now, the ups and downs of Anthony Richardson, we discussed it right from the start. Which version are you getting?
And these two are the anomaly performances. I mean, you're never probably going to be as good as you were against Utah, and you're not going to be as bad as you were against Kentucky. But if you look at the 2 games against both Tennessee and against Missouri, if you could be there in the 75 range and a little bit higher, in a perfect world, you'd be in the mid-80s, high 80s in a perfect world. But you could coach around that as a coach. I need predictable performance from my quarterback, and that will allow me to be a better play caller and a better offensive-minded coach. Just can't have the roller coaster.
2nd and 7. There's a strike to Ricky Pearsall. As a flag is down back at the 34-yard line, and Pearsall takes it ahead inside the 30. Another flag came in late as Richardson was helped up off the turf. 31-yard reception as it stands right now.
They're going to get her up in the passer. I mean, it's bad, too.
Matt Leffler and the crew talking it over. Watch Jay Ward coming in from the safety position.
And he hits him low on plant leg. I mean, that's uncalled for, honestly. I mean, that's, to me as a quarterback, that's no different than targeting. Like you are, I mean, I understand, look, he's a big guy, he's on the run. You are hitting him in the knee.
Yeah, it's more career
That to me is inexcusable. Should be a 30-yard penalty.
And you hear the reaction from the crowd here at the Swamp.
That's a dirty play. I mean, it's a dirty play. I don't know how else to describe it. It's uncalled for.
During the play, personal foul, roughing the passer, number 5 on the defense for a low hit. After the play was over, unnecessary roughness, number 67 on the offense. That's a 15-yard penalty. It will be first down.
And there's Richie Leonard, who's actually starting the night. So you see him flying in as the, also not a real smart play there by Richie Leonard. He's starting tonight in place of Osiris Torrance, who's out with a lower body injury. So as you can see, both coaches trying to get an explanation, but two plays that were just not smart by either team.
And those are the first penalties of the game for either team. 11:26 to go in the third, and the cascade of boos continue to rain down, as obviously this crowd concerned for Anthony Richardson as he was sitting there as a target, and you have a player going at his knee. But it's a first down after the 29-yard completion to Ricky Pearsall, who had a key fourth quarter touchdown in last week's win over Mizzou. Johnson, little shake and bake and leg drive to the 25, where he's met by Baskerville.
We're getting back now to the run game for Florida. Made some nice plays in the air. Now, got to get that run game going. Got to get those backs started in the second half. The receivers are going, your quarterback's going. Now get that offensive line going. And see if you can't work yourself into an offensive rhythm.
Showing pressure off the edge. Let's see if they come. 2nd and 6. They'll stay on the run with Johnson, and he goes nowhere. He was met right away by that front, including Greg Penn with the tackle, and Baskerville also waiting on him.
It's a great job by Baskerville sliding in there, making the play at the line of scrimmage. So athletic there at the second level. It's a good linebacker group. He's played pretty well so far here in the early going of this football game.
3rd down and 5.
Big play here. 3rd down. Their guy is usually Ricky Pearsall. He's located down here in the slot. So you can find a completion here to number 1.
Instead, it's Lingard out of the backfield, and he's going to put in that effort of lowering the shoulders, getting that pad leverage, and driving Bernard Converse straight ahead for a first down.
And just a great effort here. Good fake there by Richardson. Work to your right. Remember, he missed a couple throws earlier to his right as he moved, but an excellent finish there by Lingard. As you see him just get lower than the defender that's trying to make the tackle. And
it's funny how basic things can be. One man wins,
leverage. Right? It's a game of leverage and inches, that's for sure. But Bernard Converse had really no chance, as Lingard clearly had a full head of steam.
And he stays in here on first down. And he'll get this run, but it only goes for 2 yards this time, as Harold Perkins comes up with the tackle. Good-looking true freshman from Cypress, Texas, a 5-star.
He's going to be the real deal here in a couple of years. I mean, he's already made his presence felt, most notably against Mississippi State. I mean, made some great plays in that game. Made some great plays in the Auburn game as well.
Had an interception in that game.
He's going to be great. I mean, he can play off the ball, and he can also create up there along the line of scrimmage right now in a traditional linebacker spot. But man, he might be, if Ojulari wasn't on the team, he'd probably be their most dynamic edge rusher. So very versatile defender there for the Tiger defense.
Pre-snap penalty there. So there was some movement.
False start on the offense. Number 77, 5-yard penalty. It is 2nd down.
Hey, let's tell you what you got next week on the SEC Network. At noon, it is going to be red-hot Tennessee. Have you seen the party that's going on in Knoxville, by the way? Those goalposts are going down the street. They're going into bars. Vandy and Mizzou at 4, and A&M and South Carolina at 7:30. Just think about the release after all the years of a blue blood power program struggling and having difficulty, and then Tennessee comes up with that slay the dragon moment against Alabama today. 2nd and 13. Lingard, look at those feet. A quick dart and dash to the 12-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short from there. Jay Ward made the tackle.
It's interesting, the approach, too. Knowing the struggles that the Florida defense has had, doesn't feel like threes are going to win this one for you. If I'm Billy Napier, I'm telling my offense right now, man, you got 2 downs to get it. Because field goals are not going to get the job done with how LSU's offense has been clicking.
Let's see how they approach it on 3rd and 4. Timeout is being called by Florida. We'll take a short break. Come back with this 3rd down.
At Progressive, if you want to protect the homes and all.
Where do you begin with the rivalry moments between LSU and Florida? I mean, you can pick from a dozen of them, but we'll start in 97, the stunning 28-21 home upset of top-ranked Florida. That was LSU's season highlight. Florida's 25-game winning streak in SEC play went away. I was calling this game with Blackledge in 2010. The wild fake field goal and then the win. The way the ball bounced. And, of course, the shoe throw in 2020.
Maybe the craziest.
The craziest ball. The shoe throw to extend the drive. And then the 57-yard game-winning field goal by Cade York. And then this is tonight. The Golden Band from Tigerland said, we're going to clap with our shoes. Yeah. That's what we're going to do. We're going to remember what happened here.
Never forget in this league. It's just amazing.
And now here we are in a wild one with LSU's offense tearing it up. A 3rd and 4 for Florida, trailing by 2 touchdowns at home. Richardson on 3rd and 4. Trying to keep it alive and then has to throw it away. There's Greg Penn, who was forcing him back.
Just really poor protection there from Florida. And now Billy Napier got a big decision. I think you have to go for it. Just with how LSU's clicking offensively right now. Yeah, well, it might be nice to be able to secure some points on this drive. That'd be great. But ultimately, is 3 points going to really make a huge difference if your defense has really struggled? I like the aggressive play.
And a timeout is going to be called by LSU. That'll give Matt House and that defensive staff a chance to talk about how they want to defend this 4th and 4. There is House. Came over from the NFL. Has spent time at Kentucky. Said to us the other day, he said, listen, I think Florida may be the best offensive line we play this year. But his offense has rolled up nearly 400. LSU's offense nearly 400 total yards. Florida kept to 239 as it stands right now. It has been a crazy day in the sport. College football rankings are brought to you by AT&T 5G.
I think what'll be so interesting, all right, how far does Alabama fall, right? And then how high does Tennessee go? That's a big question mark, of course. Where does TCU come in? They came back and found a way to win against Oklahoma State. Ole Miss, kind of a ho-hum performance. Penn State's going to drop like a bad habit and should. They did not look good today. I didn't think at any point in that ball game.
Here's your 4th and 4. Richardson, 4th down, Florida. Oh, he just laser beamed the in cut to Shorter, and it had no chance. Incomplete, turnover on downs.
Let's take a look. Billy Napier, I think, wanted a penalty. Felt like maybe the collision happened a little early, but man, there's a lot of heat on this throw. And Shorter, as a big body wide receiver, man, you gotta play more physical. I think that's good, sound coverage from Mekhi Garner. Really, really good. Well done there on the slant. And that's one. I mean, you're Shorter, you're 6'4", 225, man. Play like it. You got pushed over badly by a corner that's way undersized compared to him.
Hit as he throws was Jayden Daniels as Brenton Cox is coming in on him.
Guys, after a less than ideal start to the half on defense, the team's leader, Ventrell Miller, brought the defense together on Florida's sideline. He stood on the bench and delivered a passionate speech demanding urgency and execution from his teammates. It was such a spectacle. Florida fans in the section directly behind him gave him a standing ovation.
He was really developed as a leader. And now look at this strike from Jayden Daniels as he goes to Malik Neighbors. Jayden Daniels is having a hot night.
He looks really comfortable, and that's so difficult. I mean, they're able to run the ball really well on the opening possession. Look how much Florida's committed to the run. Look how many defenders are up there near the line of scrimmage for the Gators. They throw a glance right in behind it. So difficult to cover.
A 19-yard reception by Neighbors. Daniels, and here's Booty. And he makes a cut, and he has another first down for LSU. Kayshon Booty, his 5th reception of the night. He's over 100 yards.
And he just stabbed this one, too, because Jayden Daniels threw this one with some heat. And you see number 7, Kayshon Booty, just go up there and snag it. And he's been a different guy these last couple weeks. I mean, got off to a really nice start tonight. And he's been a huge factor. I mean, really the first time all year when he's been maybe the best player on the field in the wide receiver spot for LSU.
Daniels can't get free of Brenton Cox. I mean, the conversation with Kayshon Booty is really interesting because this is a guy that at the end of 2020, I mean, he was setting records, had the 300-yard game against Ole Miss. Obviously, the injury last year, but he came into the season with everybody expecting him to get right back to that big-time status. It wasn't until last week in the 4th quarter of the blowout loss to Tennessee that he scored his first touchdown.
Yeah, there's been a major disconnect, and whether it's new offense, maybe not getting on the same page with his quarterback, but the talent's there, it's just the production isn't, and hopefully it comes in the second half.
2nd and 6, and he misses him that time. And let's check in with Matt.
All right, another quarterback having a decent night. Clemson, Florida State, DJU. This was after Clemson recovered a Florida State fumble up 24-14 at the half. Clemson doing what they do, playing defense and offense.
Clemson sitting there at 6-0. 3rd down and 6. Can Florida get the stop they need?
Big down for the Gator defense right here. Looking like man coverage based on the pre-snap look.
Daniels coming back to it and getting it as Lacey for a first down. They are 7 of 8 on 3rd down.
This is just great timing here on the locked hitch. That ball's in the air right now, and it's on the receiver so quickly. As soon as he turns around, he's right there. Just excellent timing from Jayden Daniels and a great route there by Lacey.
Williams will get a little work. And Greg, I can remember the conversations that all of us were having this summer, SEC Media Days, everybody saying, listen, the wide receiver room at LSU is probably the best in the SEC, one of the best in the country.
Yeah, well, this is your quarterback, though. I mean, this is just making the quarterback better. Look at the route at the top. The ball's in the air right now. He's not out of his break yet, but that ball is in the air traveling towards Lacey before he makes his break. That's impossible to cover when it's timed like that. Excellent execution there from the LSU Tiger offense.
And people were pointing the finger and saying, but Jayden Daniels, are you going to get it to these great receivers? Tonight he is. He's over 300 yards passing, 3 touchdown passes. 2nd and 4, gets it up quickly again, and again it's Kyron Lacey.
Pass complete to Lacey.
And he's right at that stick.
Is it a first down or is it 3rd?
It is a first down.
It is. Very, very close.
Clock is under 4 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. And we are going to bring you the coverage of the Tom Petty moment. That happens time and again. I won't back down before the 4th quarter. And they need to have that kind of a fight, the home team does. This is Tom Petty Day here in Gainesville. And they've been celebrating all night long. And one of the great traditions that started after the Rock and Roll Legend's death in 2017. In fact, a game against LSU when they had 90,000 here was playing I Won't Back Down. And time and again, that's what happens at the end of the third, before the fourth. And we're going to share that with you tonight in a special celebration. Second and 9. Here's Emery out of the backfield. Gets loose, tiptoes, but couldn't stay in all the way as Miller was with him.
This feels like such a critical spot for the Florida defense. They've really struggled so far tonight. Some of the short passing attack. Struggled a little bit against the run as well, but this is almost gotta have it scenario. If you allow 7 here, is there enough time remaining in the game to get 3 possessions for your offense to allow them to march down the field and make it interesting? So absolutely have to hold LSU to a field goal try.
Third and 3. Daniels pulls it, tries to cut against the grain and gets it. Jayden Daniels cuts back and gets the first down.
Excellent run there by Jayden Daniels. Nothing really there to the outside, thinking he's going to be able to jump out. He's pretty well leveraged there by Florida's defense, and he cuts back and makes a play. That was pretty well defended. It's just a better offensive play.
Another long drive by LSU. They started with their worst field position. Williams can't find much there. 12th play of the drive there. Bernie makes the tackle. Brian Kelly has said, remember, this is a journey. This is a process. We're in the midst of it. There's going to be some good days. There's going to be some bad days. Last week against Tennessee, it was a bad day right from the start. Got into a hole, never recovered against one of the best teams in the country and a razor-sharp offense. Tonight it was different. Started hot, stayed that way with the offense, and Billy Napier's team is trying to play catch-up. Second and goal. Daniels, can he get past Cox? Yes! Striding his way for a 9-yard touchdown. Jayden Daniels, what an evening he's having.
And we showed you earlier when he ran the touchdown to the right. This time he goes around to the left. I mean, he has crazy top-end speed. Felt like the whole time Cox was going to be able to track him down or at least force him out of bounds. But Jayden turns the corner, and his head coach, Brian Kelly, has got to be loving what he's seeing.
They can do no wrong. 42-21 LSU. An 88-yard drive, Greg.
Jayden Daniels is absolutely rolling. It's not just through the air, it's also with his legs. He is having himself a night here in the Swamp.
Super Chevy dealers.
Remember the wild 13 seconds last year between the Bills and Chiefs? Well, Allen and Mahomes are going to sit down tomorrow and talk about it on Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern. Then Monday Night Football is Broncos-Chargers, 8 Eastern on ESPN. And Monday Night Countdown gets started at 6 Eastern. 42-21. Fighting spirit. That moment brought to you by Modelo.
And it's tough to find one, that's for sure, because Jayden Daniels, this whole night has been off the charts good. I mean, doing it with his arm, doing it with his legs, being decisive in the pass game, making acrobatic plays, getting around the edge, showcasing some of that top-end speed. He has been fantastic throughout the course of this night. And he's going against the defense. I mean, it's not like Florida's chopped liver on defense, and Florida's solid, very solid on the defensive side of the football, man, and they don't look like it tonight going against a quarterback that is on fire.
300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, 6 total touchdowns for Daniels. Richardson looking to shake free. And they need to find a spark as he slides down, and the flag is down back at the 20-yard line.
Holding on the offense, number 58, 10-yard penalty, first down.
And a reminder, in 57 seconds, we're going to take a very short break and then bring you one of the great newer traditions in college football, and that is Tom Petty's I Won't Back Down here at the Swamp, as this is the inaugural Tom Petty Day. And charitable connection and the good works here in Gainesville. And Tom Petty, the rock legend, has his daughter here, his granddaughter here to remember Tom and his legacy, his brother here. And we'll bring you that spectacle. Goes to Xanders underneath. And Tom Petty grew up here in Gainesville. This is the home that he had. Of course, so many remembrances of a rock and roll legend throughout this college town. Final seconds here of the third quarter. Third quarter that saw Jayden Daniels run all over Florida. I won't back down. The celebration when we come back.
The game has never been better. That is hockey.
New customer explosion of the senses. So when you finally taste it, it just confirms this is fantastic. And only at Panera. $1 delivery fee on our app.
Traditions in SEC football. I won't back down here at the Swamp on Tom Petty Day. It was great to see his daughter Adria, brother Bruce, granddaughter Everly, sister-in-law Beth, with a late rock and roll legend being honored as the family makes their way off the field here. Start of the fourth quarter. Florida trailing LSU by 21 at home. Anthony Richardson looking for Etienne to block, which he does, and here goes Richardson. Long strider and keeps his balance. What a run by Anthony Richardson. Superman in. And he says, I won't back down. Absolutely spectacular 81-yard touchdown run by Anthony Richardson. And how many quarterbacks do you know that can do that? Not the first time he's gone for an 80-yarder. He has shown all those explosive long-distance efforts over the last year and change. With a big burst and giving Florida some hope.
Call 833-944-2424 and make the switch today.
Maybe they should play Tom Petty during every commercial break. 42-28. Let's go to the studio. What do you got, Matt?
Tess, I'm going to update you on USC Utah. Caleb Williams continues to have a nice night. Watch him here. Quick read off his back foot. Utah's just scored 28-20. Extra point away from 28-21. And Clemson is all over Florida State. Davis Allen down the sideline. And the Seminoles are free falling. Down 31-14.
Oh, I like that, Matt Berry.
Very nice.
I like that. Marrying up the thematic. Don't do me like that. And now this crowd is roaring, looking for a stop. But it's been hard to do against Jayden Daniels all night long, and he goes back to Kayshon Boutte. And Boutte, well over 100 yards, 13 more on that reception. This was the night they were looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what we wanted to see, man. That's what he's capable of course. And when you got the run game going, too, you're going to create a lot of problems with the zone coverage that Florida's trying to employ. Right there, they took advantage of it.
Daniels on first down. He wants more. Can he get it? Going up. Great body control by Brian Thomas. Man, oh, man. Climbing up, high pointing, securing it, and 29 yards.
Trying to go a little out and up, but is well covered by Helm. But Brian Thomas just times his jump perfectly, high points it on the 50-50 ball. What an acrobatic catch. And another nice throw by Daniels.
The ruling on the field was a completed catch. The previous play is under further review.
We have had some spectacular individual efforts in this game.
Yes, we have.
Some incredible athletic moments. And Brian Thomas just provided one, Greg.
And they're going to take a look. Of course, did he secure it? And did he land in bounds? That's what they're looking at right now after the massive play.
One day you might realize going to grandma's doesn't count as vacation. When you decide to go to that amusement,
I would love it.
This What Really Happened replay is brought to you by Progressive. One thing no one would challenge, protecting your home and auto with Progressive.
Wow, that is embarrassing.
Yeah, a little bit.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Subway. Try the all-new Subway Series menu. Your pick of 12 irresistible subs.
So many great moments through the years of this rivalry. And we've had some thrills tonight with LSU and Florida. The play moments ago, Greg, now overturned, no catch.
Yeah, and Brian Thomas, as he goes up, and watch the nose of the football as he turns over. Right there, nose of the football, and the ball moves as he makes contact with the ground. They decided that he did not have firm control as he went to the ground. So I think it's the proper call. Still doesn't take away from the effort. Just an incredible effort there down the left sideline.
So wipes out the 29-yard reception. 2nd and 10 from the 38. Brian Kelly's not happy at all. Should be thrilled with the effort of his quarterback tonight, though. Jayden Daniels, 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns. Can they close it out?
A lot of space right here. If I'm them, I'm taking advantage of that zone right now.
Does he look to the slot? Yes, he does. Goes to Cole Taylor.
As you can see, he's the second LSU player with 6 touchdowns in the game. Joe Burrow did that 5 times. So
that record-setting 2019 season. 5,600 yards, 60 touchdowns that year for the Heisman Trophy winner. 3rd and 3.
Looks like you're going to get some one-on-ones here. Work a little hitch route to the outside. Down to the left, you're going to have some room.
Pressure off the edge. Incomplete. Threw it to the back hip of Kayshon Boutte.
This is a hot route right here. They bring pressure off the edge. and he has to get rid of the ball very, very quickly. It looks like he hits Booty in a spot where Booty's got to make that catch. It's not a terrible throw. It's not a great throw by any stretch, but understand how quickly that ball's got to get out of Jayden Daniels' hands. That's one that Booty's got to make for him.
Let's introduce you to Jay Bramblett. Who is he? The guy who hasn't punted tonight. Finally, 13 minutes left in the game. A punt from LSU. Henderson, fair catch at the 14-yard line. So the defense did their job. The midst of this schedule here in the SEC that has to be conquered for LSU. Flag is down back at the 45-yard line.
Illegal formation, more than 4 in the backfield. That 5-yard penalty being forced from the end of the kick. First down.
I had a good visit with Brian Polian the other day about all the issues they've had on special teams, and he is a veteran, the former head coach, veteran special teams coordinator, but they just can't shake it this season. He says, I don't run from it. This too shall pass. It didn't pass earlier tonight with a muff punt.
It looks like, as you can see, looks like Jack Besh, as you can see him right there. It sounds like he's injured there, and we didn't know that. He's, of course, in street clothes.
They're going to punt again.
Find out more on that. And they decided instead, after the nice punt by Bramblett, to actually take the penalty prior to the kick. See if he'll kick it again. I don't blame him, because LSU's punt coverage unit has been sketchy at times, especially last week against Tennessee.
Gave up a 58-yard punt return against Tennessee. So will Henderson get a chance for a return here? It's a great directional punt. Can't do better than that. Outside the numbers, right on the white paint. Difficult road to take.
As you can see, you're in the season, and this is a brutal stretch for LSU. What a difficult 5-game run. Of course, lost the game last week, played really poorly. You have the game this week, and then you go and you have Ole Miss next week. Week off, then you get Bama. Doesn't get much easier. Arkansas, nice win today. You get them for the Battle of the Boot there on the 12th, and then, of course, you finish up with Texas A&M. I mean, it just never lets up on LSU's schedule. I think it's one of the toughest in the country. And, man, they are in the gauntlet right now, that's for sure.
So Florida gets it back, trailing by 14. Richardson had the 81-yard spectacular touchdown moments ago, and now to pass. Goes low but complete to Henderson. Is their life here with Florida? Seems like they found a little something.
Man, what a catch. I mean, that ball is low. I mean, right off the top of his shoelaces. Just a great catch there by Henderson. Pretty well covered, too, by LSU. Wasn't really a whole lot there. That was a tighter window than you'd like to see on a bootleg.
12-yard reception from Xavier Henderson. We go with a little tap pass to Henderson now, well blocked out in front, and he goes for 11 yards there. That stops the clock. First down, Florida. Matt House and that defensive staff, the near side of the booth.
This is a spot, if you're Anthony Richardson, you just got to take the game over. I mean, he did a great job on the last drive. Obviously having that huge touchdown run, but now you got to continue to make unbelievable plays. The coverage has been good too, so you got to be very accurate when throwing the football.
He's done it before. Remember all the drama against Utah. They were number 7 in the country week 1. There he goes to Henderson again, who spins free. And he goes for 8 yards. So they've been leaning on him. Baskerville with the tackle. And Florida's moving the ball now.
They're going to give Henderson a much-needed rest after 3 straight plays in which they called his number. In comes Ricky Pearsall. They're going to go with 12 personnel, 2 tight ends on the field here. So this, normally for Florida, this personnel grouping is a heavy run grouping. Should likely be a run play, knowing who's on the field for the Gators.
And that's what they do, and they only get a yard with Montrell Johnson as Wingo made the tackle. Coming up on under 11 minutes to play. Jayden Daniels has given LSU a 2-touchdown lead, but then Anthony Richardson sparked things to start this fourth quarter with a masterful 81-yard touchdown run that you will see run on every highlight time and again. And now after the defensive stop, here a 3rd and 1 for the Gators. Johnson, he's going to have the first down. He's going to stiff arm his way for even more.
Nice job there by the left side of the offensive line. Well blocked. And Johnson had plenty of space out to the left-hand side. You see him just kind of chase Ojulari and Mekhi Wingo out as they kind of looped around. There was nobody on the inside. It's well done up front. Be alert here if you're LSU. This is where Florida wants to go heavy play action and throw it over your head. So be very, very smart if you're in the back end for the Bayou Bengals.
Here's the play action. Here's Richardson with time, and then was looking to check down, but had to chuck it away as Ojulari was closing in.
LSU was listening because they tried to take a shot and hit Justin Shorter, but I want you to see how many LSU defenders are running with the deep post. Remember, second offensive play of the game, they threw a touchdown on this almost exact same play. This time they were not fooled. As you can see, look at all those guys back deep, accounting for the guy that got behind him earlier in the game. Just a nice adjustment there by the LSU defense.
Second down, they go with the bubble. Henderson again, he's been getting a lot of work and with good reason. As a quick dash out of bounds, and there's the late flag for what you saw at the end of the play, so they're going to add to it. And Florida's going to be in good shape here as Henderson goes for 10 yards. That was Jay Ward at the end of the play.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds on the defense, number 5. And a penalty enforced. 15 yards, first down.
That's 2 now on Ward. He had the hit earlier on Richardson. This time, I think he just loses track of where he's at on the field. That's pretty far out of bounds. I'm not sure what he's thinking. That's just a lack of composure.
Watch Billy Napier in the background there. Head coach says, hold on a second, man. What are we doing over here? Let's get that flag out. So now for Florida as they march down the field, 8 different receivers have caught a pass. This is the drive they need to get right back in it. ETN. Nowhere to go. Ojulari with the tackle.
And LSU's done a really nice job all night containing Trevor Etienne, who is one of our impact players. Obviously, just such a dynamic weapon there at running back. But LSU, every time he's touched the football, they have converged on him. And he's such a good back when it comes to that initial jump cut and then a quick acceleration. Just never really had much of an opportunity to get much going. He's been going laterally most of the night. That's a tribute and testament to how much of a priority he was in the plan defensively for Matt House and this LSU defense.
Henderson motions. Richardson with time goes with the shallow cross, and to the 9-yard line is Justin Shorter. Clock under 8.5. Florida showing some fight.
Richardson took a big hit at the end of that last play, kind of limping a little bit as he kind of got hit down around that left leg again. As you see him grimacing too. Something to watch there. That left leg might not be 100% after the hit he took right there.
Shonda Clear, his mother, looking on, anxiously awaiting the results of this long drive. Play number 10. Got to have it under 8 minutes to go. Straight ahead and cutting and trying to get towards that goal line was ETN, but it'll be 1st and goal. And they will quickly get to the line. ETN flanking Richardson. And diving his way in. And all of a sudden you look up at that scoreboard and things are a whole lot different since Tom Petty cranked it out. They have not backed down. They have fought. Well, we got an undisputed lightweight championship fight coming up from Australia at the conclusion of this. And Florida, man, they still got a puncher's chance, don't they, Greg?
Yeah, they do. Excellent, excellent start for the fourth quarter for the Florida Gators. Big play by their quarterback, get him going. Great sequence by their defense, and then an outstanding lengthy drive, both running it and throwing it there to punch it in to cut it to an 8-point game.
And it was very impressive. 14 unanswered points by Florida. They went 11 plays, 80 yards in over 5 minutes. And all of a sudden, that big lead is just 7 points. Trevor Etienne, the true freshman from Little Jennings, Louisiana, doing that against the Tigers.
I'm the captain of the Pee Wee football team.
This is El Clasico.
ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Subway. And Florida come all the way back. They began this fourth quarter down 42-21. They had one of the plays of the year to start the fourth quarter, the 81-yard touchdown. And moments ago, Etienne with the touchdown. And coming up in moments, a great, undisputed world title fight live from Australia. On the right, you see Devin Haney, the great American who has all 4 belts at 135 pounds. He is a dynamic, premier young athlete. On the left, you see the spirited, brawling George Kambosos. This is the rematch. Haney went to Australia, took all the belts. Now he's got to go back to defend them against Kambosos. Haney-Kambosos live from Melbourne, Australia. Top-ranked boxing on ESPN following this thriller at the Swamp. Jayden Daniels, they go with the receiver screen. Neighbors as he slithers his way for 9 yards.
Guys, between Anthony Richardson, 81-yard TD, getting off the field on third down and watching the offense cut it to 7. This once deflated and defeated defense has been revived. They've got that pep back in their step. Ventrell Miller told his guys, it's time to go do our part now.
Boy, Malik Neighbors was in a lot of pain at the end of that play, Greg.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he really got landed on really hard at the end of this. Big Gervon Dexter and Trey Dean as he's going to the ground. I mean, watch just how hard they kind of go on top of him right there. Maybe he lands on the football or kind of gets his arm tucked underneath there, but either way, not a guy they want to be without. He's an explosive playmaker and will complement the rest of these wide receivers.
And Katie made the point about the defense. Can they deliver again? 2nd and 1. Williams is going to move the chains, and we're going to move under 7 minutes to play.
It's in this particular spot offensively. Your quarterback's been phenomenal tonight if you're LSU. Just terrific, very accurate. But this situation in the game does not call for his brilliance. This calls for the offensive line, and it's a challenge to the run game. You have to put a drive together. Your defense is on their heels. They've given up 14 fourth quarter points. Now as an offense, you have to secure control of this game and take the life out of the stands with a potent rushing attack.
Try to do that with Williams. He can't find much there. Maybe just a yard as Gervon Dexter among those with Bernie there to make the tackle. An offensive line that's without their starting left guard, Garrett Dellinger, who's out with a second-degree MCL. And Will Campbell, the left tackle, the true freshman who was hospitalized last week with dehydration. He's back, but Dellinger's out. 2nd and 9.
If you throw it, if you're LSU, you got to think high percentage as well. And right now, I mean, this look defensively for Florida, I mean, it's begging LSU to throw the football versus one-on-one coverage.
Malik Neighbors, who's their go-to guy, is in the medical tent right now. 2nd and 9, downfield, and it is intercepted. Florida's in whistle, getting the pick. How about this? Florida football with 5:47 to play, trailing by a touchdown. A flag is down all the way back at the 28-yard line.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 9 on the defense. Previous spot. 15 yards. Automatic first down.
Trevon Dexter roughing the passer.
Wow. You see Dexter right over the middle. I mean, it does feel like that collision happens, but is it late? Let's look at it from this point. Yeah, he's high, and you can see he lands on him with all of his body weight. Man, that's unfortunate because there's really nothing that Dexter can do. It's an unbelievable play there defensively by the Florida Gators. And it's a lot like what's going on in the NFL last week. People up in arms with how things have gone down as far as roughing the passer is concerned. Right there, similar circumstance. Just an unfortunate play there for Dexter.
Wipes out the interception. LSU first down, and now Williams does that. 10 yards. In fact, tomorrow on Sunday NFL Countdown, they are going to have the foremost expert executive on the NFL to continue that conversation as what's going on with roughing the passer, a point of controversy in the NFL. Let's bring in Matt Austin, our rules expert. What say you, Matt?
Yeah, I actually like the call because anytime you put your full body weight on the quarterback without making any effort to get to the side at all and mitigate some of the pressure on him, I think it's a foul. So I think that's a great call.
Yeah, I don't think it's the wrong call, Matt. It's obviously a huge point of emphasis and a very hot topic of debate right now in the world of football at all levels.
What a different game we would have right now. Florida interception wiped out. LSU continuing to grind it out. Clock continues to count down on Billy Napier and the Gators' hopes.
Gotta think LSU just continues to try to lean on this defense. I also think, too, a quarterback run, maybe a quarterback sweep or a zone read where Jayden Daniels is reading the end man on the line of scrimmage. You could potentially get out to the edge very, very quickly. So that would be something I'd be considering right now if I'm Mike Denbrock, the OC.
2nd and 8, he's going to pass. He's going to loft it downfield to the end zone. And Neighbors back out there was the intended target. So it'll bring up a 3rd down, and the clock stops. 4:08 to play. This is a big one coming up here at the Swamp, and it is going to get loud.
And then another big decision, too, for Brian Kelly. Is this 4-down territory? Based on how he's treated the last couple weeks, it might be. And knowing the uncertainty surrounding their kicking position as well. The possible 4-down territory here for LSU.
They didn't connect on their last drive on 3rd down, and they punted for the first time. How will this play out? Looks like he was signaling for a timeout. And that is what will happen as they will talk it over. It's amazing the swings that this sport offers, isn't it, Greg? You sit there and what LSU was able to do in the 3rd quarter, and Daniels was running all over the place, and they get up 42-21. We're sitting back. One of the great new traditions in all of college football. There's Tom Petty. I won't back down.
Right.
And we say, will they back down? Anthony Richardson comes out, goes 81 yards, and all of a sudden we got a ball game.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, just an amazing flip here in the 4th quarter. I mean, you look at LSU, they could do no wrong.
No.
Offensively, defensively, they were cooking. They're all the way through the first 45 minutes of the game, and then things flipped as soon as Tom Petty, they ramped up the jukebox a little bit. But I'm telling you, this is a massive, massive sequence right here for LSU, because now you have to make a decision on your 3rd down call. All right, do we try to make the field goal more manageable? Do we set ourselves up to go for it on 4th down? This is a massive call here for Mike Denbrock, probably the biggest call of the game.
3rd down and 8. Swamp is roaring for a stop. Daniels to pass, 3rd and 8. They drop coverage, and he gets it complete for 7 yards to Brian Thomas. So here comes that 4th down. Or will they bring the field goal unit out there? They're keeping the offense on the field. 4th down and 1.
4 tight ends in the ball game too for LSU.
Josh Williams will be the running back.
Expect just downhill, A-gap to A-gap power.
4th down and 1, game on the line. Williams, he's got it. 1st down, LSU. Brian Kelly didn't flinch. Two for 2 on 4th downs tonight.
Just an excellent job there. Really was no one there, kind of got washed down inside as the left side of that offensive line kind of leaned heavily with their double teams on the Florida Gator front. And Williams doing a really nice job of just going straight vertical and picking up the 1st down.
Give credit to Will Campbell, the true freshman who was in the hospital last weekend and out there playing hard tonight. And Emery able to spin free for a moment. Look at this effort as he gets to the 20-yard line. 2 timeouts remain for Florida.
And at this point, if you're a defense, you have to rip at the ball as much as humanly possible. I mean, it's really the only way you can win this game is by forcing a fumble or by capitalizing on a massive LSU mistake. Got to jar the ball loose, and if you're LSU, don't fight for the extra yardage. They're not worth it. Just protect the football at all costs.
Going to bleed every second off that play clock. Daniels will keep it himself as they're unable to even get a tug on that ball. As he brings it down to the 16-yard line. You got to think a timeout will be used by Florida here, and indeed that is the case. We'll take that break with them. 2:04 to play.
At Navy Federal Credit Union, it all starts with members like you. Because we were founded as a not-for-profit with a mission.
Great costume. Looks like you deserve both. See ya, boys.
Two minutes and 4 seconds remaining, and then we will get you to the undisputed world title fight live from Australia. But right now, LSU trying to put this away, Greg.
Obviously right here, 1 timeout remaining for Florida, so a 1st down doesn't essentially end it, but for all intents and purposes, it does. Absolute gotta have it situation, but like we said a second ago, tug at that football if you're the Florida Gators.
Daniels going to keep it himself as Williams the lead blocker, and the flag came down. Whistles were blown pre-snap.
Interesting to see if they call us on the offense or the defense, because it looked like there was some movement on the front for Florida, which led to LSU jumping offside. So this could be a 1st down by way of an offsides.
It was 3rd and 2.
Before the snap, false start. Offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty. It is 3rd down.
So just a glimmer of hope for Florida.
And you see on the left side, I mean, it looked to me like Florida kind of moved early. Oh, no, so 85 definitely moved a little quick.
That's Stores.
That is Stores. The Hammer, as Mike Denbrock referred to him as their physical tight end at the end of the line of scrimmage. Good call by the official.
3rd and 7. Well, that was sloppy up front as well. That was very sloppy as there was movement.
Before the snap, false start. Offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
The freshman Emery Jones, the right tackle.
That's a killer, too. I mean, remember the challenges that LSU's had in field goal range as well. So if I'm Jayden Daniels and if I'm thinking about this play, obviously keeping the clock rolling, forcing Florida to burn a timeout is huge, but taking a sack, not an option. If you get dropped back and nothing's there, you run as fast as you can vertically and see if you can't pick up whatever you can.
They're moments away from putting this thing away with a first down. Instead, they backed up to a 3rd and 12. Daniels will keep it on the ground. He goes nowhere. He's going to be tackled for a loss, and he's going to be wrapped up by Javon Dexter, who, remember, had the roughing the passer that wiped out the would-have-been interception with over 5 minutes to play.
He made up for it right there on a critical 3rd and long, but here's that controversial roughing the passer. It's the correct call. No denying that. It's the correct call. Anytime you land with the full body weight of the defender on the quarterback, it's going to get called. It's the correct call by the official. But definitely one that is definitely a little bit unlucky for the Florida Gators for sure.
So now, because of the back-to-back penalties and then the tackle for loss, it's a 4th and 14. And they are going to send out Damian Ramos for the field goal attempt. So a 46-yard field goal attempt from Ramos. Got a run of 36 on the year. Ramos. And he nails it. And a big fist pump from Brian Kelly. It got a little tight there. And then officially a 47-yarder from Ramos is good.
Wow, what a clutch kick.
It was.
From Ramos. I mean, goodness gracious. And a horrendous sequence from LSU to take it from 3rd and 2 to 4th and 14 with 2 pre-snap penalties. And next thing you know, what was once a very manageable field goal becomes a very difficult field goal. But without a doubt, I mean, right down the middle by Ramos. Excellent, excellent job. As you can see, Jayden Daniels putting this one on ice.
That was their longest field goal of the year, and Brian Kelly, and I'm sure his special teams coordinator, Brian Polian, said, yes, that's the operation. There is Polian. He says, well done by Slade Roy, the snapper, and Bramble at the holder, and the operations and the kick from Ramos, because it has been a struggle with special teams, but right there to seal it and go up 10. Etienne's going to return it from his own end zone. Remember, he had a 47-yard return to start the game. Brings us out past the 25. Let's go to the studio and Matt.
All right, as this game comes to an end, want to give you guys an update on what's going on still in college football. Clemson running away with it against Florida State. Kentucky, Mississippi State, interesting over on SEC Network. And North Carolina, Duke on ACC Network. So when you guys conclude, stick around for boxing or surf around where it's more college football.
Looking forward to that undisputed lightweight title fight. Devin Haney is an outstanding young American world champion. He's got 4 belts going up against the feisty George Kambosos. That's coming from Melbourne, Australia.
Are you a boxing guy?
You know, I actually called the first fight down in Melbourne. It was 45,000 fans down there. And
shameless plug.
Aussie football. But, you know, I just couldn't make that trip when I had the chance to stand by you for 4 hours in the swamp.
What a great game we've had, too.
It has been fun. Anthony Richardson has made it that way in the 4th quarter. He had the big run to make it a game again as he just goes to Montrell Johnson. That 81-yard touchdown, was that not absolutely a thing of beauty by Richardson to open up this 4th quarter?
He's electric, man. I mean, it's in there. If he can ever just tighten the screws on some of his accuracy stuff, and it's coming. He's got a nice natural motion. He throws a really pretty ball. It's coming. He's a work in progress for sure as far as being a full, well-rounded player is concerned. But, man, he's got some electricity. So does Jayden Daniels with the performance that he's had tonight.
2nd and 6. Richardson, oh, is that a live ball? LSU jumps on it with Wingo. As Harold Perkins was right in the face of Anthony Richardson. The true freshman dynamic edge rusher comes in. Wingo recovers it.
Tough play.
A turnover of the night, Greg.
Really tough play for a right-handed quarterback. You're rolling out, you're trying to get out in front of it, but you're getting chased from behind. And as you pull that ball out, Perkins is right there. Every week, Perkins does something amazing. I mean, every week. This guy's, I know last week he really wasn't utilized the way that he'll be utilized in the future. because of how Tennessee would tempo, and he's really not a guy right now that you want on the end of the line of scrimmage. So in third down, you couldn't really have him out there because if he got a first down, then he got tempo, and you didn't want him to try to hold up against the run at the point of attack. But man, as far as his upside and where he's going as a player, I mean, I am just so excited to watch this young man develop and see what kind of player he becomes in the future.
Ruling on the field, a fumble. Greg, I'd like to have the conversation with you as to what this means to LSU, because listen, when you have a first-year coaching staff and you have a team and a program that went through having only 39 scholarship players in the bowl game last year, there's going to be some rough patches.
Sure.
Is this one of those games where you sit back and you say, okay, breakthrough moment, things are different from this point forward?
It feels like that. I mean, you know, you don't want to be a crazy prisoner of the moment, right? But after last week and just how poorly they played and all the self-inflicted mistakes that they had, to come out tonight and to play as well as they did on offense was, I thought, phenomenal. I mean, played just great offensive football from start to finish. So I think that if they can replicate that performance and then clean a few things up defensively, stop giving up big plays, of course, stop turning it over deep in your own end with muffed punts specifically, then they're going to be in a really good spot, man. And they're dangerous down the stretch because they're just going to continue to get better and better and better.
And then there's the Jayden Daniels factor, because if he's going to do what he did tonight, and that's getting these great wide receivers the ball downfield, where Keishawn Butte can have 100+ yards, where guys like Dre Jenkins can get involved. He has 67 and a touchdown, and Neighbors, of course, and Brian Thomas and his athleticism. That changes what they are. Much more dangerous with the style of play we saw tonight offensively.
Big time. And you're now starting to have a lead back starting to emerge as well with what Josh Williams did to kind of complement what the passing game was already doing. So I think that this offense, like I said, if they can play like this, man, they are a major problem.
So the question is, fumble was the call. Was the hand coming forward that would make it an incomplete pass? To the eye in real time, looked like just the way the officials saw it. Perkins forcing the fumble, Wingo with the recovery. But you go all CSI replay on us here, and anything can happen. But the ruling on the field was a fumble recovered by LSU.
After review, the quarterback's arm was moving forward. The hand was moving forward. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass. Gamecock operator, please reset the clock to 1:36, please. It will be third down.
So they reverse it. Florida keeps the ball, and it'll be third down. Minute 36 to play, trailing by 10. And it'll be third down. They say incomplete pass. That guy's going to be a problem in the SEC for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Harold Perkins.
Yes, he is. He's going to be a
major problem for people.
Going to be a big headache. Big headache. Especially here in closeout situations. I mean, with that kind of speed off the edge, when you got offensive linemen that are already fatigued, that's a significant issue. Now here for Florida, a little interesting situation. You can get a big chunk play and kick a field goal too, try an onside kick. So game not totally over just yet.
3rd and 6. Richardson is going to duck out of bounds and pick up the first down as Perkins was tracking him. That leaves a minute 29 remaining.
If you're LSU, I mean, defensively, just don't let anything over your head. As simple as that. I don't care if you have to stand 25 yards downfield. Just play safe, conservative, and without any timeouts, it's going to be difficult for them to just matriculate their way down the field in a methodical manner.
You can see how deep the safeties are. Jay Ward is basically playing in Orlando right now. You saw that movement on the right side with Austin Barber.
False start. Offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's going to be so much to take away from this day in college football, Greg.
Think there'll be a few things to talk about?
Just a few. I'm really curious to see where Tennessee lands in the rankings. Richardson pointing directions downfield, but that ball was deflected. Looked like Baskerville got his hand up. What would you do with Tennessee? Where would you put Tennessee?
I mean, you can make a case right now. I mean, who's got a better resume than Tennessee? I mean, you got to win against Pitt. You got to win against Florida. You got to win against Alabama. I mean, that's a rock-solid resume. Ohio State, they've looked dominant, but they haven't really beaten a super high-quality team just yet. I think Michigan's going to really move up as well. They'll probably stay ahead of Tennessee with how dominant they were against Penn State. And then where do you drop Alabama as well? But, I mean, I'd have Tennessee in the top 3 at the very worst.
That looked like it was a backward pass.
That did.
Flag is down back at the 24-yard line. That was played like an incompletion, but I think that was a backward pass. You can see the signal of the holding.
Holding on the offense, number 77. The penalty is declined. Third down.
Oh, yeah, it definitely looks backwards. So that's technically a live ball right there.
Absolutely it is.
I mean, obviously the holding penalty either way. That was a strange sequence there. As Montreal didn't really do anything with it after he secured, it was a lateral.
So you make the very strong point of Tennessee's got the best resume. Tennessee's got the best win. Tennessee's accomplished the most at this point of the season.
Georgia might have the best win.
Georgia's got at this spot. It will still be third down.
Georgia's got that win against Oregon that feels like forever ago. Don't get me wrong.
You think that's a superior win over beating Alabama?
I think you could make a case that the fashion with which they won the game.
No, I mean they dominated.
I think Tennessee, huge win, best win of the year, like I said, but maybe not in the dominant fashion. So if you want to have Georgia ahead or Ohio State ahead because of the, quote, game control metric, right? Then I could understand some of that thought process.
Yeah, let me tell you what you can do with metrics as far as I'm concerned. You topple Bryce Young, Alabama, Nick Saban, King of the Hill in that spot. That's a superior win. I don't care how you do it.
Right.
Okay, because 90% of that Oregon game was played.
Holding on the offense, number 76. That penalty is declined. Fourth down.
Now, I do think that Tennessee will receive first place votes.
As they should.
And I don't have any problem with that
Absolutely
whatsoever.
not.
I think Michigan might too, to be honest with you, with the performance that they had against Penn State. I'm not sold on Penn State personally. But either way, Michigan, I thought, looked dominant today in a lot of ways.
I wonder what time that party in Knoxville is stopping. What do you think? Maybe Tuesday?
Wednesday.
These LSU fans that have made the trip here to Florida are sure going to enjoy their night outside the swamp. Here's your 4th and 20 with Richardson. You see the arm talent just slinging it, but well over the head of Henderson. And 64 seconds, LSU fans are going to be celebrating a win officially. Haven't added the win to these standings for LSU or the loss for Florida, but there's a look at the SEC.
Yeah, and I mean, what a job, too, for LSU. Now 3-1 in the league. Ole Miss, of course, unblemished at the top. LSU and Ole Miss tee it up just 7 days from now. So we'll find out right now between those two, the winner of that game in prime position against Alabama, see who might be going to the SEC championship game. So pretty amazing, even though LSU has certainly had their fair share of ups and downs. Still everything right in front of them with all their goals still very much intact.
Good night for Kayshawn. But as for his quarterback, it was special for Jayden Daniels, who went for 349 yards and 3 touchdowns. Didn't throw an interception. And then on the ground, 3 rushing touchdowns. A 6-touchdown night for Jayden Daniels. You said it earlier, big difference between 5-2 and 4-3. It's win number 5 for LSU. And it was a good one on the road, putting up 45 against Florida.
Massive win. Just a great, great performance, cleaning up some of the issues that plagued them last week. protection was better. Their quarterback played excellent. The receivers stepped up. If that team can replicate that performance multiple times down the stretch, they become a very dangerous football team.
Both teams showed great fight, but we've got a real great fight coming up next, because for the undisputed lightweight championship of the world, live from Melbourne, Australia, the American Devin Haney and George Kambosos, the hard-charging Australian, are going to go at it, just the way LSU and Florida did here at the Swamp. What a fun one it was. Enjoy Top Rank Boxing next. LSU a winner here in Gainesville.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the Southeastern Conference.